full install.
Oh, okay.
You can't upgrade.
Oh, okay.
I think with Windows 7 or whatever it was that came out after Vista,
yeah.
the two operating systems were totally different.
Oh, yeah. All right, we got YouTube's doing its thing. That's a good deal. Pavillion. The problem with Pavillion, HP Pavillion, it's kind of like saying I have a four-wheel car. Do you know much about the numbers that you have on there that we can go look up?
Give you a model.
That'll work.
It's a HP Pavillion Entertainment PC. It is a, where did I find it? Dv7.
Delta Victor 7. Oh, it's a laptop.
Yeah.
They're still going for $600 now. $200. Is it pretty zippy on Vista?
I haven't had it turned on in forever. When I used it, yeah, it worked well. What originally, when they had the Square Dance convention here in 13,
yeah.
They bought it for me and I handled registration.
Oh.
And so I had no issues there.
Let's see.
Is that 1913?
What?
13.
What operating system is it on it?
Vista.
I don't remember. HP Pavillion says it's a Core Intel Core 2 Quad 2.26 gigahertz, and wonder what it's got for memory. Or 17-inch monitor, so it's a big monitor. That's kind of nice.
Probably 2 gigabyte of memory.
Oh, it looks like they have a bunch of different processors it can have in it. And up to 8 gig of memory. It says SATA hard drive, supports up to 2 hard drives. Looks like they were 500 gigabyte at the slowest, or at the smallest. And 540. It had 540 spins. Do you know if it was 500 or 640 or a terabyte? Do you know what it had in it?
No, but I'm sure it's not a terabyte.
Okay. I think a lot of those are doing fine. I've got a Toshiba that I'm using right here on this streaming, and it's of that same era. I wouldn't know why it wouldn't be a good thing. So you're saying it has to be a full update, and it looks like that's $100 nowadays. $99, somewhere in that range. I don't know. Anybody else used a HP Pavillion laptop Dv7? Is it worth updating? to Windows. Windows 10, I guess.
Yeah, but that had to be a clean install.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. That's what he was saying. I guess you could put Windows 10 on it if you don't care what's on there now, and then just see how it runs, and then worry about licensing it in 30 days.
2.4 gigahertz, probably Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it's got an older Wi-Fi. That's true. It'll only have the 2 gig. But I think I would do that. I wonder what happens if you go to the, let's see, Windows 10 media creation tool is what you're looking for. And
Mark, it would not be a 64-bit. It would probably be a 32-bit.
well, is it?
2013.
I didn't look at that.
Vista didn't require 64-bit.
No, it didn't. Uh-oh, Carl's got some comics showing up. There's Ken Sanborn, live from North America.
Well, the live part is debatable.
moving slowly.
Above ground and walking anyway.
Recognize that tone.
Yeah. It shows operating systems 32 and 64. I have the app on the screen.
Give me just a second, I can tell you what's in here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good idea. It shows both. For pre-installed, it shows both. Well, it says Vista. Vista Ultimate was 64-bit. Okay.
Right.
Never did figure all that out. It disappeared too quick before I could figure it out.
Well, what's on here is Vista Home Premium.
Home Premium, and is it 32-bit or 64-bit? Does it tell you?
Still loading.
Oh. It's got to blow the dust off the hard drive.
It's old like me.
Well, but what'd you say, 2013, Mark? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Because I don't think mine. I don't know what. Now I pulled my hard drive out and I put a solid state in there. Wow, that makes a difference.
Yeah, it does.
I just got a solid state 1 terabyte, waiting for it to arrive on the doorstep.
Oh, really? Another Christmas present. You got 2 Christmas presents?
I heard you talking about it last night or last week.
Ooh.
Well, my other desktop, the monitor is starting to go off and on. So I think maybe my hard drive's failing. I swapped out monitors and it did the same with the other monitor.
Huh.
So I thought I'd kick it in the bud before it went out on me.
There you go.
Or nip it, whatever.
Yep. Let's see what mine says here.
Ooh, airplanes.
Who's flying airplanes?
Carl is.
Carl is.
cartoons down and put airplanes up.
Oh, no, I see. I get you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
By the time I looked up there, it was back to the cartoons.
We got trains and planes.
And then now it's automobiles.
So I have a 2.3, 4 cores, 8 logical processors. And mine says 2015, so it's 2 years newer than that one. Of course, that Pavilion could be newer than that.
What operating system? I mean,
His Vista. But this thing came with Vista probably, or Windows. This Toshiba that I have probably came with Vista back in the day.
what do you have on it now?
10. Actually, I have 10, bleeding edge 10. The advanced copy stuff. This is, I think it's bleeding edge. I think
32-bit, 64-bit.
64, because right here it says Windows. Yes, and off it goes. I don't know. I would say the cheapest, best thing to do is to do what Mike did, which is buy another hard drive, a solid state hard drive for it. And then I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. That Windows Media Center, Windows Media Creation Tool, you should be able, it'd be kind of fun to try this update now button from there, or you can download a tool which you can make a flash drive for it.
I didn't know you could go from Windows Vista to Windows 10.
Well, you can't. I don't think you can. It wipe it out. Is what I'm thinking. Is what I'm guessing.
I didn't think it would allow it to update it from that. I thought it had to be from Windows 7 to 10.
I don't know. Let's see what they say. Yeah.
You can install from an ISO. It just won't necessarily register and activate.
Right. But he can at least see if the computer's worth keeping.
Sure. But you can run it. You can run it without activating it indefinitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it just fusses at you. Oh, there's something wrong with your activation code or something, and then it just goes on and does everything.
Yeah.
Like this laptop is going to lose Windows after the Teams meetings we're having on Monday nights. So I put it in as a temp.
Yeah, I do a lot of virtuals that way.
So
what we got here is the 64-bit.
Yay!
4 gigabytes of RAM.
That's pretty good.
2.2 gigahertz dual core mobile ZM82.
2.2 dual core. How many of those?
AMD.
AMD.
There's a way to double that. I've forgotten how.
So I've got 4 cores. I've got 8 logical processors. So here I've got 4. I've got 8, and you've got 4. But that really only comes into play if you're doing higher level math stuff. Usually it's hard drive that slows you down, not the processors. And then you had 4 gig. I'm running 8, and 4 should be just fine. I run a lot of machines with 4 in it. And if you like it, you can go out and get you some memory real cheap.
Just looking to run that on Win 10.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
That's all I'm running. My main computer is all it has been. It's a dual core AMD. It's now
Yeah, okay.
8 or 9 years old.
Yeah, his was
4 gig of RAM. 4 gig of RAM. There's a trick you can go in management and turn loose some of your backup compute power on your chip. And I've forgotten the exact details, but it was on YouTube. So it must be real. It actually changes the core count. So you can make it go a little faster. Maybe not a lot, but.
Yeah, and multiple processors really don't help you that much.
Yeah, a lot of software. You're right. Doesn't even touch it. But
If you use a notepad, doesn't do it.
does it have a baseboard video? You don't have an above motherboard video card in it, do you?
Don't have a clue what's in it.
Okay.
It's a laptop.
Oh, it's a laptop. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Never mind.
But they had, where was that?
Otherwise, same.
They talked about some video options. I would do it, and if you search for Windows 10 media creation, you'll get the link, and you can build either a flash drive that you can boot from, or a DVD if you have a DVD player and a blank DVD, and you can boot from that. If you got a problem, I can build one for you and send it to you. But I would probably just run it and see if it's running and see what it does. I would say if you put a solid state drive in there like Mike just bought, it'll scream. It'll do great.
It definitely kicks it up. I've got an old. I'm actually, this laptop computer I'm on tonight is a 10-year-old laptop, old HP, and it's running 10 just fine. In fact, it's running it better than my newer desktop right now. I'm thinking I got something going out in the desktop, but
Yeah.
You said Windows 10 media, what?
Media creation tool. And if you got a 16 gigabyte flash drive, it'll actually just write it straight out to that flash drive, and it acts like a boot machine, and you can. It's like an install disk. Well, there's Uncle Bill.
I'm just here for the pizza.
Oh, come on! You're here for the Brahms.
Good evening.
Hello, Bill.
So I loved your Facebook post about he's got worked all states, but all he does is FT8 or whatever
The two girls.
Yeah.
I was afraid that would be associated with Mike.
I was thinking Peter Laws, but yeah.
By the way, Mark, kudos on the newsletter. Great newsletter today.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. I added W5KUB. They're on that Tuesday nights. They do their thing, and we'll see how that works on the deal, because it looks like Bob Heil's bunch, the Ham Nation, looks like they're going to go to every other week is what they were talking about. So we'll see how that works out.
Scars has a newsletter.
Oh my gosh, I knew there had to be something in there. I'm so glad it was you. Yeah. You know, I was gonna say I got busy, but busy is the wrong word. I was in the dentist chair all morning, so I didn't even see it go out. So didn't see the final copy. But good.
Dude, it'd take 10 minutes just to transmit it.
Yeah, could be. Could be. Lots
I
of
did
days.
I did pay my dues today.
Hey, there you go.
That was a subtle hint, by the way. You know, just thought I'd throw that.
Well, I'm glad you did. Yes. Did you do ARRL, or
No.
had you already been there?
Oh well, mine's not due for quite a while, so.
It will actually extend if you want to get the door prize. They will just extend you an extra year.
Yeah, I know.
If that's something you want to do.
they never came through with their book offer last year.
Yeah, they did.
Not on me, they didn't.
Well,
They said, "Oh, the post office doesn't know your address." Of course, I also at the same time ordered the handbook. You know, the 6-volume handbook.
The book thing was from John.
No.
Oh, you're talking about a different thing.
No. Last year, I didn't renew till later, and they offered book, you know.
Oh.
So I ordered grounding, and I got an email about mid-year that the post office said refused and returned it, and they should have put some postage on it or something. But you know,
Well,
but at the same time, I had ordered the handbook, and you know, that came in just fine. So, you know, I don't know what they're doing. But
I don't either, but I'd send a message off to John and say, "Can you help me?"
I might do that, but
Because
well,
you know,
I might just call headquarters and ask them. How,
yeah,
you know.
do that.
Yeah, I stopped getting my magazine in December after upping for 3 more years.
Well,
On purpose?
No, they stopped sending it.
Oh, well,
I gotta call
I was gonna say, you're sitting at home all day, man.
them.
Come on. What are you guys doing? You have nothing else better?
Playing radio, Mark.
Oh, yeah. That's
Mike
true.
Winkle got the big set of stuff from ARRL, but he's not checked in tonight, I don't guess yet. But I
Got the
think
big, you mean the big multi-version handbook thing? Is that what you're talking?
he got that, what was it, six different books or something?
it's kind of the handbook, the separate volume handbook.
Yeah, the volume,
Oh,
6 volumes.
Yeah,
the
it's
volume.
easier to handle because you're only dealing with 1/6 of what you used to hold all in your hand at one time. But I don't know. In a way, I kind of think I like the old one better.
Yeah.
You and Peter Laws, that's all I'm going to say.
Well, you know, it's just all in the book, so you don't have to go get up, go dig out, find the other volume that you know, it's all there.
But you got to haul that big old book around.
It is. Yeah. Okay.
That's the only other problem. This, if you look at these 6 and glued together, yeah, just glue them together. I need to tell Peter Laws that.
A little gorilla tape around the whole affair, and
You're griping, just glue them together.
Bind it together with gorilla tape.
That's what we need to tell him. Mine's a couple years old. I don't know what my current one is. I know that the library, and I can't even remember who told me this. One of the library workers, it's a ham. I got it here in a note. Sent me a photocopy of the front page of the handbook, and it said, "Here's the library here in Norman has this on the shelf," and that was right as COVID started going bonkers. And I thought, man, that'd be kind of something cool. Is we need to go visit the library and see what they got, and if they didn't have some cool stuff, encourage them or buy them books and stick them on the shelf.
Local Oklahoma County branch out here's got about a 4-year-old handbook out there that I picked up on several occasions. I might be the only one using it, but
you probably are. 4 years old is not going to be missing much.
No, it's very pertinent. All of it's relevant.
Probably just this, Mike's FT8 stuff. That's probably the only thing he's missing. Yeah, I didn't know. $60 for the 6 books. That's a pretty good deal.
It's not bad. I mean, it really isn't. And they aren't bad. I mean, being that they're smaller, it's certainly easier to pick one up and go sit down and handle it, or read it in bed, or whatever however you do your reading.
You only need one of these at a time, really.
So,
quite honestly, this antenna one's probably the one that's going to get worn out.
Speaking of that,
vacation. Sorry, Ken.
I got another fishing pole.
Shakespeare or?
Well, this one's a B&M. I couldn't find a Shakespeare. B&M Black Widow is the same identical thing.
Oh, now it's okay. And see this? I've got to fix that hex beam. Is that the thing that would work for a hex beam?
I don't. These are 20-foot. They make a 16-foot, and it's more readily available and a little cheaper. I think the 16-foot might. Well, the 20 would let you take the very wiggly, flexible tip and not use it.
That's what Bill Lockett said. Yeah. Is the outside diameter the same on the big end of both of them?
Don't know.
Okay.
I mean, this pole, this Black Widow pole is identical to the Shakespeare pole. Identical, absolutely
Oh, really?
the same, except for the decal on it. I mean, I can take pieces off one and put it on the other.
Oh, really?
Anyway, I kind of stole a Lyndall idea. Lyndall, are you in there? I don't think he is. He wanted to make a Z bracket for his antenna wire for a dipole. I decided to make an L and put it on with bungees.
A C wire? Wait a minute. What are you talking about here?
Anyway, this top piece is where that's where the hole in the middle is where the 239 is going.
Okay.
And then I'll put a couple of studs on there so I can just use this and attach different wire sets to it.
Oh.
Or I might make 2 or 3 of these and build a separate wire set for each band.
So you'll drill holes along the side to hold the wires out?
Yeah. Yeah, there'll be a couple of holes to thread them back and forth through it for reinforcement.
And then go out left and right for a dipole.
Go out left and right, yeah.
Look at you. Now, how do you keep it from sliding down?
I had a couple of bicycle inner tubes, and I cut a piece of old inner tube about 1 inch long, and slide them down to the joint. And at that point, depending on how long you're going to set it up, you can wrap a zip tie around it, or take a bungee and twist a bungee around it tightly, or even use a hose clamp. But zip ties are more than adequate, and the bungees are great for temporary setup. And most of the time, I don't put any kind of stuff on the anything more than say 2 joints. The first 2 joints, I'll reinforce those so they won't slide in on themselves, and the top ones have never really been a problem. But I'm using them in most cases in a temporary manner.
Yep, and that makes sense. I mean, that's a good way to.
But the zip ties on that bicycle inner tube, just slide it over the thing and stretch it down. By the time you get down to the point, I've got 2 different tube sizes from 2 different bicycles that blew the tubes. And between the 2,
happen to have in the shop is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what was available. But for for $4 or $5, you can make 20 or 30 sleeves out of that.
Yeah.
And I'll buy a new one when I run out of my good stock, deep stock I have at home.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about buying another size to give me a 3rd size so that they, if it's too large, just wrap it around, stretch it and wrap it around, and then put the zip tie on it, or the bungee. But we're getting ready.
So what's that plastic L? Where'd that come from?
That is an 88-cent cutting board from Walmart.
Oh gosh, not again. And did you heat it?
And I heated it up with a paint stripper gun and bent it.
Oh my gosh.
So that's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to that. We're doing someday we may be doing a Morse code net with that Morse code group, and I'm gonna try to put a 10-meter ground plane at 30 feet. See if I can reach out with it. Maybe make the 10-meter net once. Maybe. But we'll find out. I may have it up Wednesday night and see.
You should try that.
Too.
So I see this 20-foot B&M doodad.
Black Widow.
Black Widow. And that's the Black Widow is the thing. And they've got a 20-foot, they've got 10 foot down to 20 foot.
Right.
And I think 20 foot is what Bill said is you get the 20 foot and you go cut the other end off of it.
Yeah, because you could just drop the end out of the bottom.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying.
That last piece. The end piece has an eyelet on it. But it's pretty flimsy.
Yeah, for our use, yeah.
And it's only about not quite 3 feet, probably about 2.5 feet, 30 inches. And then the next piece is a little more substantial. That's the seam right there.
Yeah.
I say you can push that out. I don't know if that eyelet will go through there.
Or just cut the eyelet
Yeah, it
off
does.
and it should go.
It does. No,
through.
you just drop it out the bottom. That top piece, and don't have to cut anything.
Ooh. Oh, wait. 20 foot, 6 sections. You have to go measure that one, see what it is. And I guess the base section's the same on all of them. Or maybe, yeah.
I don't know, actually, because I've only got the 20 footers.
Yeah.
I thought about getting a 16 foot to take to the lake. But
For a 20 meter?
no, for fishing.
Oh. who would use a fishing pole for fishing?
Well, you know, if you get out there and the bands are really bad, it only takes a minute to turn that puppy into a fishing pole. But my experience lately at Hefner is that the mayor has probably put masks on all the fish because they don't bite.
Well, good. I see Lee snuck in on us. How'd Lee snuck in on us? Hello, Lee.
Mark,
Yeah.
see if you can silence that one, please.
That's what I'm working on.
I figured you were.
Just won't let me do what I'm wanting to do. There it is. Mikey, you got a call.
Mikey, you got a call.
Lee, did you ever get a mic? Did you ever say hi in all the middle of crazy? No. No. I guess he's not hearing me.
May not be.
May not be. May not be.
You said something earlier about Peter Laws. I figured if you wanted to get his attention, you have to say his name real fast 3 times.
No, it's Peter Core.
Well, that's right.
Maybe
But it might work for Peter Laws too. You never know. His ears will start getting the itch.
Very good. Who's got something else they've done fun this week? Nobody.
I did.
What did you did?
It's not much of an accomplishment, but I found a GPS dongle and got it hooked up to my Raspberry Pi.
Okay.
However, I'm still not on digital.
Oh.
The Pi nor the regular PCs will connect via any of my devices. So I'm still voice or CW.
Okay. Any thoughts on where the problem may lie on all that stuff?
Well, it's got to be in the radio, possibly. I'm thinking it's the USB adapters don't have the right codec. But I'm not going to buy another one. I'm tired of buying USB adapters. I probably have 20 of them.
Oh my. Didn't you have a second radio you're going to try?
Yeah, I have a Yaesu that I was going to try, and it's still in the closet. I haven't gotten active with that. So, but I did mess around with the Raspberry Pi and working on KM4ACK's Build-A-Pi platform. Got it to recognize the GPS finally.
Good. You're getting somewhere then.
Yeah. One step at a time, I guess.
That's a good point. Did you do anything on that QCX radio?
No.
Okay.
It's in the closet with the other one.
With the other
With the, it's a Yaesu mobile.
Oh, okay.
HF.
Okay.
It's just sitting up there on the top shelf. That's when the top shelf gets full, I'll know it's time to stop.
Well, or at least time to start to fix on some of that stuff. I can't remember what your problem with the QCX was.
Well, I had put it together and I went to start the, what do they call that? The final adjustment. And I couldn't get a certain thing to happen. And so I emailed the guy and he said, well, you need to redo your toroids or something like that. So rather than redo the toroids, I just stopped on it.
Oh, okay. So you have the next step. You just got to go do it.
Yep.
Okay.
I ought to just give it to Ken and let him have a backup.
Well, yeah, or do an A/B on it.
Yeah, we could compare things on it one of these days here soon. Hopefully we can.
Yeah, I'm still waiting.
I'll give you, I bet more than even odds on T1.
Okay.
I was going to put my money there. It's
a booger, and that's where I found my problem ultimately. But the weird part of mine is it would calibrate in the receive mode, and I just got nothing out of it. I mean, I couldn't hear anything with it. And
Ken, does that require an oscilloscope or a voltometer?
No, it was just with the onboard. Well, the onboard calibration procedures would all pass. I could peak the band pass, and then the sideband, the sideband filters, the high and low filters would minimize. Everything would work right. It looks like it ought to work. Hook it up to an antenna, and I never got any real signal out of it. And what it turned out being was the T1 transformer wasn't putting out the 180-degree out of phase signal correctly, but there was enough noise coming through when you do the quote calibrate, because they blast it with the calibration signal. And you know that once I finally got the right, I was able to I really did the troubleshooting with an O-scope. That helped. Because I could see that we weren't getting an out of phase signal. That's when I went back to T1 again. But I thought it was good. The T1 seemed like everything measured right, but when I really got down to the cutting, it was that's where it was at. So I've been listening with it a little bit here intermittently, but it does seem to work pretty good.
Yeah, I was where was I? Just tuning around on 20 meters today in the CW portion and heard a few signals, but that was with my ICOM radio, just listening.
I went ahead and got 40 meter kit, and I kind of wish I'd gotten 20 in a way, because 20 is more active by day, and if I'm going to go out mobile with it, I'm probably going to go out during the day in the sunshine.
Right.
And that would be a better. So now I think I need a mini in 20 meter.
You're hooked.
So I don't know. Leave the big QCX plus at home.
Yeah.
You didn't get any mini yet, right? You're still.
No, I haven't.
Ken, you still have the big one.
No, I've stopped at the moment. I tried to remember trying to power up my Pixies.
Oh, good.
Yeah. That's my next project, to see if I can get, if I haven't burned them up already.
Man, there's not much to burn up.
Yeah. No, there really isn't. I've got when I bought the first one, I bought two of the original 7023 kits, and then I got one of the SCARS kits. But at the time I bought that, I also bought a 45 watt linear amp kit.
Oh wow!
It's a little push pull surface mount, and I'm looking at those surface mount components, and you know, I put the kit back in the box, and it's been sitting there all this time until I did that surface mount project
Yeah.
Now they don't look so bad.
They look huge compared to that thing.
However, those chips come, I'm still launching rocket chips into the garage because the 1 watt 50 ohm resistor in that thing, which is really pretty big, it's a 1 watt chip. And I was just kind of tipping it out of the little plastic bag, and
Yeah.
it went down on the tabletop, and it launched itself like SpaceX. And I haven't found it since. And it was pretty big.
What ohm? What were you looking for there? I need to ask Ken if he's got one of those laying around.
So
1 mega ohm. What, the other Ken, my Ken at work.
It's a 50 ohm 1 watt 2512 format in a surface mount. I can always get a 1 watt resistor and put it in there if I have to. Just stand it up on its tail.
Yeah.
But I ordered some 1 meg chips for my other little project from DigiKey, and I should have waited a week.
Yeah.
Then I could have ordered some 50 ohm. But
what do they use that 50 ohm for? Is that the dummy load?
it's in the it's in the phase splitting portion of the push pull.
Oh, okay.
It's in the circuit there somewhere, and it's I guess it's kind of like a grid or emitter follower type. Emitter resistor.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I don't know what it.
Limiter kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's a limiter of some sort in there, and it for some reason seems to pull a lot of current. But the instructions for that are absolutely priceless. Chinglish.
Yeah, Chinglish or Russian? Is it Russianish or Chinglish?
Chinglish. It's Chinese. Definitely very open to a lot of interpretation. But I did find a video on YouTube of somebody measuring power output on one.
Huh.
Which was nice because now I have a picture of what it's supposed to look like when I build it.
Yep. And somebody else has gotten it done.
So yeah, so it can be made to work apparently. He was getting 30 watts on about 30 megahertz, I think is where he said he was.
That's a pretty darn good little output.
Yeah.
For what, 5 watts in?
Yeah, with that would probably be with 5 watts in. He was feeding it with a signal generator, but
oh yeah.
But, if it takes a Pixie output and makes it 5 watts, then you got a viable transmitter, if not receiver.
Yep. Nifty spiffy.
But I just still amazed that thing got away and I couldn't find it. I mean, I didn't believe.
Yeah, I'm not. It's just
they have propellant. They have propellant in them.
Yeah.
When they hit the bench, they take off with incredible speed.
See, and the right answer is you're supposed to drop the second one the same way and then say, go find your buddy.
I didn't have any more like it.
Oh. Usually you lose 2 that way.
I know.
Look at that, Mark. You said his name 3 times, and who shows up?
I tell you, works.
N5 Ugly Witter yesterday. What were we looking for him for?
I don't remember now.
Yeah.
I don't owe anybody any money.
No, we were talking about binding your ARRL handbook multi-book set together using Gorilla Tape to make one big handbook.
Oh, that's right.
What?
We had the solution for your handbook problem.
My handbook problem. What
Yes.
handbook problem?
The ARRL. Let me get
You
this
screwed
up
up
on
their
the
handbook, the
Yes.
hardcover one. So
yes.
I ended up buying the soft cover one. I have the soft cover one now, which I don't like as much. It won't last as long.
What we said was you need to Gorilla Tape these 6 together into one big old book.
Well, I don't know what I did with it. I just got a roll of nanotape in the mail yesterday.
There you go.
I haven't tried it on anything quite yet, but
There you go. There's your first project.
it's supposed to be made up of ground up gecko's feet or something. I think that's how it. I'm not sure. I don't know all the details, but
Well, with that, we were talking about that earlier, and there was a lot of consternation about being in one book or not one book. And there's kind of half, we're about 50-50 here on 6 books versus 1. And so you're not alone this time.
I believe the title. It says hand book. It does not say hand books.
But it's the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Except it isn't. It never was. It always fit in one before. I mean, literally for like 90 years fit in one volume. I don't know. I bought the soft cover because I didn't want to deal with the multiple pieces. Because I didn't have any nanotape at the toe. Here it is. Here's my nanotape. I haven't used it on anything yet. But.
Okay, if I was pretend I didn't know anything about nanotape, what is nanotape?
It's they use gecko's feet. There's some kind of thing they've recreated gecko's feet with carbon nanotubes or some damn thing. I don't know. It's not really an adhesive. It's double-sided. It's supposed to be reusable. Supposed to be very strong. I haven't tried it quite yet, but look up nanotape.
Waterproof?
I guess. I don't know.
I've seen that on late night TV.
How about the generic nanotape off eBay? Gorilla Tape didn't actually say it was nanotape, and the Alien Tape I think does say it. And this was like half the price. So, and it's only I think there's like 10 feet of it here because I've never played with this. I don't know if they work.
Walmart.
I don't know if it's worth anything. So
Walmart has it. Look at that. So is it like thick? It looks like it's an 1/8 thick.
It's I don't know how thick it is. I think I have Jeanette's calipers in here. It's not thin like packing tape. It's not. It's thicker than that. It's
2 millimeters thick. It shows. Is that
that's
right?
Probably right. Yep.
30 millimeters wide, and it's got poo gel.
Poo gel.
Pugel. P-U-Gel.
Is he still playing Albert Pugels?
No, that's P-U-G-E-L.
That's probably what makes it sticky.
Okay, that's
why. Yeah, if it's clear though. It's clear. It's not brown. I'm just saying.
I've got land in Arkansas. I think I see some candidates here.
You have to give us a report on using nanotape sometime soon.
I plan to. I've got a number of power bricks that I have not yet been able to get rid of. That's the ultimate plan, is to get rid of them and replace them all with just DC. But I plan to hide those behind shelves and whatnot, and that's the first task of the nanotape. So,
I have another use for it. Ken can run rows of it on his table, and then his little chips won't go flying off. They'd stick right to the table.
Yeah, I'm going to go get a big clear plastic bin, cut holes, and put sleeves in it, and put them all inside.
Yeah.
That way they can only bounce around, and they got to stop somewhere.
Yeah.
Are you doing surface mount stuff? Is that the problem?
Yeah. I was surveying parts for a little amp kit that I've got, and a 1 watt 2512 piece. I mean, it was large.
Yeah, 2512 is big.
And I just tipped it. Literally, I just sort of tipped it out of the plastic bag it was in, and it went down on the top of the table, and then it vanished. I mean, it just launched like Elon Musk was playing with it. It's gone, and I couldn't find it. I mean, I'd scanned with a flashlight. Daughter come out here and find me crawling around on the floor with a flashlight.
Yeah.
Very frustrating.
We have a rubber room for you, sir.
That's kind of what my garage is.
Hey, Ken, I got you an idea you'll have more money and you'll know what to do with. Make all the parts glow in the dark.
There you go. That's not
That's
a bad
it.
idea. The darn things are magnetic. I even got a really good strong magnet. I swept everything I could. Not quite everything, but obviously I didn't find it. I think they
glow in
orbit
the dark.
continuously. I think they orbit continuously in low garage orbit once they get up there.
The glow in the dark, maybe not, but a little spot of UV paint put on by the manufacturer would be really helpful. Of course, 99.999% of surface mount components are not installed by humans.
Right.
So,
and they belong to the robots.
Right.
Yeah.
They really do.
Yeah, they really do.
But on the other hand, if you think about it, if you've got a board and you want to replace a resistor as opposed to a through hole, they're relatively easy to take off and put on. With the through hole, you've got to go back and try to get the hole cleaned out to feed the new part in,
and you usually have to have access to both sides.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. To me, I'm beginning to believe that the surface component done carefully is actually easier.
I've heard many
if you can keep them on the table. Other than that,
I've heard a number of prominent YouTube electronics types say that it's actually, once you get the hang of it, it's actually easier.
I don't believe that. I really do.
Ken Goodson is just dumping everything that's through hole, and everything he's building is tiny because he can put it in one little box, and it's got everything he needs.
Well, you could take a simple
for the rest of his life.
You could take a simple perf board with isolated lands and set your components between them. There's a lot of ways that would be easier. Just keep the bloody things on the desk. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
I got another DigiKey piece coming. I ordered a couple of buck converters. My 12-volt batteries are running down pretty quick down to 12 volts or so with my little radio. So I'm looking at kind of doing a Peter K. Is Peter in yet? Peter K thing with my.
You only said it twice. You got to say it 3 times.
My Peter K.
Yeah. Okay.
With the Ryobi 18-volt 1+ batteries.
Oh yeah, those are neat.
So I want to go ahead and build an adapter for that. That way I can take my bag full of batteries with me and I'll be able to play all day or all week. Unfortunately, they haven't arrived yet.
I ordered a thing from eBay and it's coming from China, and it'll be here quicker than the thing I ordered from Ohio, but it's a little 12 volts in, 5 volts out on a USB micro or mini, I forget which micro, I guess. Because I've got one of those MLA 30 amplified magnetic loop antennas, and it runs off I've got it plugged into a USB wall wart thing, and I don't like wall warts. I'd rather run it on DC. So I'm going to see how that works. I bet it's noisy though.
So it's 12 volt in
and 5 volt on a USB plug out.
Oh, okay. So it's just a USB. Yeah. I've got a bunch of those, and I guess I've never really put them up against a.
Are they the $8 including shipping from China?
Oh God, I don't spend any. That would be the high dollar ones. Yeah.
Okay, but are they noisy? Because I'm going to run an antenna preamp on this. So
I don't know that I've listened to them. I'm trying to think if I got one laying around here. I've got one that goes to 9, and I've not heard it.
Not 11.
9, no, it goes to 9 volts. Okay. My wife got me a lovely on the air thing, and it runs on 9 volts. So I thought, well, we have to have the on the air sign on in case the power goes out. So I have to run it off my 12 volt system. I don't see it laying around here somewhere, back behind the wall.
I wouldn't mind having an on the air light outside my radio room at home. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, I can't see it from here. It's so she can see it walking in.
Oh
more for
God,
her.
he's talking. I won't go in.
Exactly. I just got an email from a fan of ours who is watching on YouTube because she's doing the tech class online and watching us on YouTube, and says she'll join us in Jolena in after getting caught up with a few more chapters of the book. I encourage to show up.
Very good.
So,
I did get a registration.
Hello, Tulsa.
From that other woman,
Kelly.
I think that's right. Yeah.
Yep. She showed me that the
website was goofy or something, right?
Yeah, the form for signing up for the website doesn't work in AMP. And AMP works great when it works great, but it doesn't always work great. Oh, well, yeah, those little Ryobi or whatever you want to use for battery supplies, the battery, the power supply that Peter's gotten for those, that's so cool to be able to dial up whatever voltage or current that you need. And, they work really well.
It's a good photo,
I missed
Carl.
that conversation.
That's Peter K has done these. I 3D printed something for him. Remember the little 3D printer thing? I'll have to grab some photos. And he's put a little power supply in there, and he runs it off of the Ryobi battery, and it outputs like, I don't know, a couple volts to.
It's got a buck boost thing on it.
Yeah, it's got a little buck doodad, and it's got you can do a limiter on there for current limiter. So you can say, I don't want more than 2 amps out of this thing. And really cool, cheap thing. He had it at one of the SCARS meetings. I don't know if I ever put it in a newsletter.
Be a good thing for the newsletter.
I think I did.
These that I ordered are only 3 amp output, but I'm going to run that QCX with it. So that's way more than enough.
Yeah.
And from DigiKey, I knew they were going to be higher. They were like $4. I think a piece, $4.50. But they're variable. And they we'll see. News at 11 on that one. Hopefully next week I'll have it all in and running.
Yeah, he had one of those that he had a 3D case that I printed for him that was just slicker than whatever.
I've got an old 14-volt charger. I think will accept the 18-volt battery. I'm probably going to gut it and use that case.
That'll work. That'll work.
Or not. I don't know.
That'll work. Let's see if this thing can pick it up. Nope. Nope. So who else has jumped in there that I didn't see jump in? Eric jumped in. There's Eric. There's Eric. Nothing from Eric, I guess. Mike's there. Mike Richardson. Another Mike. 3 Mikes now.
Mike.
I'm here,
Mike
but I'm watching my granddaughter swim right now, so I'm
okay.
A little distracted.
Well, that's all right. I'm just curious if you had a problem, or something we needed to help you with.
Well, I picked up that DMR radio from you back in December, and I just hadn't had time to mess with it. So
okay. Push the big button on the side, and then you'll get it. That's the big thing.
What?
That's the big thing. That's the big thing. Peter, I never should have told you about OBS.
OBS? No, you never should have. You're right. You are right.
Do you do that for work things? Have you set that up yet for?
Yeah, I need to do a different. I need to get the scene thing under control. But
What is OBS?
Obstructive bowel syndrome.
No.
Yeah.
I think it was originally Open Broadcast Studio, but I
That's
think it's OBS Studio now.
So that's how you're getting all your segments.
Yeah, and you can put, whatever you want in whatever you want, and you can do phase and all that high tech stuff. But that's how Mark's doing that frame around his head there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
Very nifty. Oh no, Indiana loves me. Indiana wants me. That's what it is. Lord, I can't go back there. Indiana wants me. The heck was that song? I have too much stupid stuff in my head.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
What is that song? So how's Indiana doing? You got 12 foot of snow?
Ha! No, we had no foot of snow. We have negative snow count here. I heard out in Florida they got like 6 inches. I have a friend down in West Texas got 6 inches in his backyard, and somehow we missed that. How about you guys? You guys get anything?
Well, I tell you, I can tell you that the world stopped yesterday or day before yesterday because Shreveport got 7.5 inches of snow.
Oh my gosh.
That's Shreveport, Louisiana. We're talking tropical.
Yeah, Shreveport, Louisiana. Yeah.
The one in Louisiana. Okay, there's not another one, is there?
No. Shreveport, Louisiana got 7.5 inches of snow.
Did they all just fall over and die, or?
Pretty much.
Well, they had one picture of a lady looking out her window trying to figure out what that was on her yard.
Yeah.
Well, my friend's comment to me was that I moved back to Texas to get away from this because the last place he was stationed was up in New York, up at Fort Drum.
Fort Drum, yeah.
Yeah.
That's in the snow belt too.
That is in the snow belt, yes. And he hates snow. He hates it.
Fort Drum, not a good place then.
Not for him, no.
10th Mountain is there, I think.
Yeah, that's who he was with. It was kind of funny because I was giving him all sorts of crap about how it was, in the low 40s, and he was getting 6 inches of snow. So,
what are people down there
Fort
doing?
Drum? Because at Fort Drum, 6 inches of snow is like Tuesday morning. So
no. He lives
Florida.
He lives in West Texas now.
West Texas. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's originally from Texas, but he was stationed in Fort Drum for 2 years. He said it was worse than Kansas, which is saying something.
Oh, you get those bands coming off the lake there, off Lake Ontario, and
Yeah.
Yeah, his wife spent the whole winter inside. Didn't leave the house. It was kind of funny.
I don't blame her. I lived up in Wisconsin. That's a lot of work.
But Wisconsin actually has, they have winter sports.
Oh yeah.
I don't
make
know.
themselves feel better about the snow. Yes.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
People in Wisconsin are kind of kooky anyway.
Well,
just saying.
Yeah, the 7 or 8 months of snow. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you know?
Don't you? Yeah. You betcha.
You betcha.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, did you guys get any snow at all? Out of that?
Not this last round.
No,
it was way to the south.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Our guys in San Antonio or South Texas area were flipping out.
Yeah. He's in San Angelo, which is
oh wow.
South. It's southeast of Midland.
Yeah.
But still way deep south. So
there's a forecast office. Isn't there a forecast office there, Gary?
Probably.
Yeah. I've been there. I've actually been to San Angelo, which is not fun. We flew in there in a 182.
Really?
And we didn't have guidance for some reason, and we were flying along the pilot. I'm not a pilot, or wasn't a pilot, and I still am not. And the guy says, "Where do you think it's at?"
Look for the big lake. It's over there by the big lake.
I just pointed. I said, I think it's between those two over there. Just head for that. And I was right. But it just flips me out that if I'd have pointed somewhere else, would he have gone that way?
See, Mark, there you go.
Yeah, it took a while. He was delayed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's making lunch for me. He's making dinner for me.
So what's the topic tonight?
We've been all over the map.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fishing
San
poles,
Angelo, Wisconsin.
yeah, literally. Tulsa, dropping SMD devices on the ground so that you can't pick them up.
Can't find them. Yeah.
Yeah, been there, done that. Thanks anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm tearing apart my my radio room once again. I decided. Yeah, I think this is the 4th time now. Might be the 5th.
Good.
So get ready for Winter Field Day.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's my goal, is to have this place put back together by then. So
that's a good goal to have.
Don't forget the nano.
Say again.
We were talking about nanotape.
Nanotape. We were looking at nanotape. That's right. That was another one of our fun things. Never heard of it. And I guess it's a thing right there.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going to put you guys
everything
on speaker, and I'm going to go try mounting something with this. So I'll let you know.
If we hear a crash,
do we know it didn't work? Nanotape.
Swearing.
So when you're doing what he's doing, and this might help you, John, is that he's rebuilding, or he's taking the little bricks, the power bricks, and using this nanotape to tape them behind shelves out of the way. So
okay.
They're up and out of the way. It's a really good idea. Now
it is.
Now
it is. You know, I saw someone has had a shelf in their shack on their desk, and they actually mounted their power supplies up underneath it on the bottom, on the underside of it, and then ran the wiring in a channel and back behind everything, so the power cables actually dropped down to the radios versus being underneath and being a big tangled mess.
And that's what I think Peter's trying to do, but we're all listening for a crash right now to see if that
this ought to be awesome.
Works.
So how many pounds does this nanotape will
that's a good thing. 1 billion.
1 billion.
1 million.
1 billion. Yes.
That's a really good idea. We didn't have anybody look at facts here. Seamless. That's not really a big help.
Because I thought about using Velcro and taping it up that way.
Oh yeah, that might be a good idea too. Oh, this looks like it's the stuff that's in that in those wall hangy things. Oh, that 3M material.
Hi guys.
Hey Lee.
Oh, there's Lee.
Where?
Second Lee. We got 2 Lees tonight.
All right.
Howdy. How's Lee?
Lee is good, as a matter of fact. How's the other Lee?
The other Lee is pretty good.
All right, very good. Yeah, I'm a little late coming in.
The other Lee is pretty good, but he's trying to eat some dinner right now.
Oh, well, don't let us stop you.
Yeah. Go for it.
So what's for dinner, Lee?
Chicken and dumplings.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Okay, we're all going to Lee's house for dinner.
Yeah.
Not this Lee, the other Lee.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that Lee.
VUL.
You come here, you get peanut butter sandwiches.
That's not bad either.
Okay.
Of course, I had a burger.
Without bread, though.
Without bread.
Yeah.
Gee, Mark, we're working on a full house here. We got 3 Mikes, 2 Marks, and now we got 2 Lees. I mean, hey.
2 pair and a triple. What's a triple? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's washable too, huh?
That's what I'm just sitting here looking at. Surely, I guess you wash it and then dry it and then reuse it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's called durometer.
It's called poo gel. See, it's
Well,
Japan. poo
Yeah, I
gel.
know. But a few years ago, they came across. We used to have it for conveyor belts too. They found that that if you cure certain plastics to a certain degree and don't cure them all the way, then they get tacky, and they'll stay that way until they gather enough, smuts, dust, dirt, whatever,
Yeah.
and then it quits being tacky. But all you have to do is just wash it with soap and water, and it goes right back to being original.
So what's the tensile strength on that kind of tape? That's what I'm curious.
Actually, it's a little bit more stretchy. It depends on, like I said, what they usually do, like on conveyor belts, to make up for the durometer, is they'll make them thicker
Oh, okay.
in order so you don't have the stretch in the belt.
Oh, all right.
And they'll also introduce, cross weave into it or plies into it, because all
Sure.
you're looking at is just the surface.
He's been Googling this crap for 5 minutes. He's watching us on YouTube so he could just come up with all this great stuff.
Me? No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No. I spent 29 years of my life with that crap.
So are you saying you might know something about it, Lee?
No, I was a maintenance. Well, I started out as just a maintenance mechanic, but then I finally ended up as a maintenance manager for the government, for postal service, and so we had all kinds of machines and conveyors and everything else in the world.
Poo gel.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
What'd you learn tonight, honey? Poo gel. So
The best thing I ever did is leave there and go to Tinker. My wife tells me, 6 months after I'd been at Tinker, that my husband came back. Yeah.
Well, if you're dealing with poo all day long, I can see why that would be bad.
No, it just goes to prove that there is life after the postal service.
I see.
Yeah.
So they don't say any. They have no statistics here for us to argue over, which is bad.
Well, that's no fun.
Yeah. Exactly. I think what I'm looking for, and I don't, maybe John, you had this in your head too. I'm looking for the guy that has the silver hard hat on, that's trying to glue himself up to the football.
The I-beam.
Yeah, the I-beam.
That's right.
Yeah.
And kicking his legs.
Kicking his legs. Yes. Yes.
Well, there you go, super glue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy glue. Sticks like crazy.
Crazy glue. Yes.
It's a guy. That's what they mounted the motorboats to, the rubber paint boat the guy produces.
What?
This stuff is what they're using to attach the motor to the boat of the guy that it's made the boat out of the spray.
Flex
rubber.
Yeah. That's what they're using to hold that motor on with.
Flex seal.
Yeah.
Flex seal.
Oh my gosh.
Something that reminds me of that Flex Seal stuff reminds me of like the third generation of the stuff we used to call a Gorilla Snot, because it was black adhesive that they used to replace gaskets and seals with on engines, and you put a layer of this stuff on an oil pan, and you slap that oil pan up there, it'll just stick up there, because the stuff, once it cures, it's there. It's like cement.
RTV.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's stronger than RTV.
Yeah.
It's super stuff. But we used to call it Gorilla Snot because once you got it on your hands, it was just like, and they made this yellow color that they used as weather strip adhesive, which got his name as Gorilla Snot. So,
well, I just did the wall wart power brick for my powered speakers here. It's up under the desk. Supposedly this stuff works better this way than, it doesn't like to hang that way, but if you put it like that, it does pretty well. So we'll see what happens. I haven't heard any crash yet. So
how much does that wall wart weigh?
it's a power brick. I don't know. Was it?
I mean, how big is it though?
A wall rack.
It's just
Yeah.
just like a laptop power. So I don't know how much those weigh.
Okay,
Not much.
Don't say that because look, hang on for a minute.
But you have to put it together like this, not like this, guys.
Okay, look,
like this.
This is a laptop power supply.
Yeah.
Okay? And hang on. Oh God, I hate this mess. And this is a laptop power supply. Which size?
It's the smaller one.
No.
Definitely the smaller one.
Yeah.
And I've got
this larger one's like twice the weight.
Yeah, I've got one for the speakers. I've got another one for the. I've got a USB hub that supports power, and it's got its own power supply. And then I've got another one for the monitor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think seems like I've got another one too. And ultimately, they'll all get replaced by a big old battery, but they ain't there yet. So
I just always use that industrial Velcro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen that used also.
But this is made of nanos.
No,
actual nanos.
While you were out putting this together, Lee gave us a.
Yeah, I heard. I had the speaker.
Okay. Now, did you know you could wash this and reuse it?
I have heard that. Yes.
Yeah,
I would rather it just stayed sticky where I put it. I don't want to take it down and wash it every few months. That seems dumb.
That's a good point.
As long as
what are you doing?
As long as you have it adhering two items together, I don't think they'll have that problem.
Yeah, I understood what you were saying before.
Anytime you don't want to do something with your wife, you say, "Oh, I gotta wash and clean my nanotape."
Love to help, but
sorry,
it's not gonna.
Not gonna wait.
Now, John, since you said that, every lady that was listening to the YouTube right now just wrote it down.
That's right. When your husband says.
You also know there is a company here in Norman that it does nano research.
Oh yeah.
Do they use tape?
Oh no! They make the little nanos
it's all
that he's
CDs now.
talking about.
Oh, there you go.
That's the tubes, the nanotubes. What the heck's that company name? Can't remember.
They make all
talking about the carbon fiber nanotape.
Yeah.
Don't cry.
Like by the millions.
Don't cry, Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question from YouTube from Jolena that says,
"Oh no,
it's gonna be tough." It says it seems like the more skilled the ham, and this is gonna be clever, the farther they can transmit / receive a transmission. Is that correct? And if so, why?
Because of their skill.
Well, is it skill or is it equipment?
Right equipment. Using the right equipment.
Yeah,
Trial
antenna.
Trial and error in learning how to put up a good antenna that's going to work.
Antenna.
And I think antenna is, but a good point, which is is there some skill in there? Now, part of the skill is picking the right antenna. And
I mean, there's the experience of there's experience in knowing how to set up the station so that it will transmit better, i.e. feed line and antenna.
And proper grounding.
And proper grounding, yes. Proper grounding.
Which would all be station setup. That's a good question. And then
it really is.
It says all, and this is one that's I can see 3 answers for it already. All equipment being equal, why would one ham be able to transmit farther than another? And
location.
No. It's the same radio. Location. You and me are on the same radio, and I think of a couple reasons. One is skill, and that's going to be pile-up skill, where I can talk through something where somebody else can't because of timing.
Right.
And then the other is voice modulation.
Bingo.
How I modulate my signal would make it go farther.
Well, and also propagation. I mean, let's face it.
No, but the story is you got the same equipment. Can you make?
So this is like the world.
Wait a minute. Are we talking same equipment, same band, same mode, Same
You're just-
location?
You're just changing
Okay.
operators on the same stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then it would be the operator skill would be able to would be the
That's what
determining factor.
WRTC tries to do. The World Radio.
Oh yeah, yeah.
WRTC, but I can't remember World Radio something content. No.
Is it like EIEIO?
Yeah.
No. It's you got to be a good contester to get into it. I think it's invitation only.
Yes, it is.
And there's like one team from each country, and they have identical radios, identical power supplies, identical feed lines, identical antennas in a big field.
Oh, it's
Okay, you're gonna write this up
it's
for a newsletter
NASCAR
article
on the
for me.
radio.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
IROC.
Yes.
IROC.
It's IROC. It's the original IROC. Yeah.
You're gonna write this up for a newsletter article, Peter. That's fascinating. Never heard of it.
You never heard really?
Never did. Been here
Did you-
35 years. Never heard
Really?
of it. WRT. World Radio Sport Team Championship.
Yes.
Is that it?
That's the one.
That's the one. Yeah.
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
it's
exactly
actually-
the question.
I agree.
Yeah, Peter, you need to put that in newsletter.
Because you know all about it.
No,
Now, do
I
they
really
put them all in the
don't.
same spot?
I only know what I've only. Yeah. Well, no. I mean, it's spread out on a circle, like a football field or something.
But all 10 of us are in the same.
type.
We're all in the same football field.
If you say
I
circle
think
jerk
they're
on
all
it.
in
Yeah.
are they all in the same geographic location, or are they?
Yeah, no,
are
they're
they,
all at the same location.
same
I mean,
zone?
they're trying to eliminate equipment and location as the variable, so that it comes
Oh my
down
God.
to your skill.
I
That's
just learned
the idea.
something.
How well they do that, I don't really know, but
Mhm.
Kind of like a
can go home.
barbecue cook-off.
well, it's
Well,
like the old. It's like the original International Race of Champions when they
It's
had
every-
identically prepped cars
Yeah.
with a variety of different tracks and.
It's every 4 years.
Yes.
So 2022. We ought to get registered. There it is. Italy. We can go to Italy.
Hey, quando sei dall'italiano.
Okay,
See?
you're going to Italy. I'm staying home and talking
There you
German.
go.
That ain't gonna work.
What do you?
That's crazy. Bologna.
Bologna. Yeah.
But
No,
that's
they
the
really
idea,
do it.
and the
Not
thing is,
Bologna at all.
I can see a lot of stuff because I can tune filters and all that kind of stuff so that I can hear better than the
Yep.
next guy,
Yep.
or worse. And I can tune my signal, my audio signal, so that it puts out just a little bit more, higher frequencies, lower.
Whatever.
And that's exactly the question. Well, look at that. Look at that. Jolene, you got us going on a big one. WRTC 22. So we're gonna have to start practicing for that. What do we have to do to get in?
Because
But that is
that's
really
always
just kind of
the
wiping everything out.
that's always the thing with the big contests. It's like, well, if you're on the East Coast, man, you're going to work a lot more European multipliers than if you live in, I don't know, pick a state, Oklahoma. You're just going to have a higher score. You just are.
You know, I for the most part, I would say yes, but propagation is a fickle thing.
It very
Well,
much is. Absolutely.
I mean, I live I live east of the Mississippi, and usually on a normal day, I can get to Colorado easily on 40 meters, with 100 watts. Some days I'm into California with no problems whatsoever, and into British Columbia with no problems whatsoever, and I can get over to Europe. There's other days where that's not happening, folks.
No
Not
matter what.
happening at all.
Nope.
I count myself lucky if I get to Toronto, Ontario.
I'm going to guess there are videos of WRTCs in the past because they've been running it for a while now. I didn't realize it was every 4 years. I thought it was every year, but okay, every 4 years.
Never heard about it. Never.
Do you get QST, Mark?
Jeez.
It's in
You
there.
can't read.
Does the league have a magazine? Really?
They do. It's very thin compared to what it used to be, but they usually cover it in there.
But this looks like it's been around since I started back in the 80s.
And
I think
I'll point
1990
out.
was the start.
Was it?
Huh?
1990,
1990s that it started.
I believe so.
Related to Ted Turner's thing. What was his friendship games or something? Didn't the first one coincide with that? Remember when they had those U.S. Russia games, something Olympics, something.
It was conducted at the same time as the Goodwill Games.
Goodwill Games, that's it.
Yes.
And he was with Hanley Jane.
Okay.
Yeah.
John, you can fly. You pilot?
No, I'm not.
Oh, we have to come up with a pilot, but I bet I can come up with a private plane for you, Mark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cessna can't make it to Italy though.
I'm not talking a Cessna.
Okay.
That a Lear.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I know where there's two here that you can get relatively cheap.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that. I know where there's two where they leave the keys in them.
No. Well, actually, you practically, as long as you have your own pilot and you cover the insurance on it, you can fly it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So there's your way to get there, Mark. You just got to come up with a team.
And don't forget the $800 an hour.
Well, yeah.
JP4 is not as cheap as it used to be.
No. No. Well, the response from Tulsa is the answers are helpful. I don't know how helpful that is, but that's a great question. And
it was
a good question.
And that we should think of a way to do that, like between here and I'll just pick something like here in Indianapolis where you have two groups of people, and you do a maybe two or three guys on the same gear, and some kind of competition. That'd be kind of fun to watch, fun to do. We'll have to think about that.
I mean, at some point, hearing's got to come into it as well, right?
Deciphering
and noise reduction between your ears.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you have identical rigs and identical configurations, then it comes down to the operator, which is what the WTRC is all about.
RTC. Yeah, I mean that's what they're trying to do, right? I mean they're trying to
those letters. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Thomas, what are you spending more money on?
What was the question?
What are you spending more money on?
Oh no, that was my response to what makes the difference and how well you can hear. I forgot the conversion from decibels to dollars though.
Yes.
There is always that. All right, I need to replace a feed line. What vendors are good for bang for the buck?
Well, what are we talking about? 3-inch hard line?
Yeah. No, I can't get that past my wife. Sorry.
Here's
RG8.
I like Mil-Spec 213.
Who's that vendor here in Oklahoma? The wire guy. The wire guy.
Yeah, wire guy. Here's one that you can't beat. This is from Show Me Cables.
Mm-hmm.
It's LMR. It's their own brand called EMR.
Yeah.
400.
You can get it from Universal Radio too.
Can you? I buy this,
and it's considerably less than RG or some of the other stuff.
I buy this.
They have
spool, $630, 63 cents a foot.
Huh. Well, Universal Radio is closing, right?
Yeah, they're clearing out whatever they've got in stock.
Right, and they sell ABR cables. I don't know if they sell spools, but I do know they sell the patch cables are all
ABR makes good stuff.
They do.
Good guys.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a club by there.
Well, I buy this by the spool. I've gone through a spool already, and I bought a 1,000-foot spool, and I've not used any of it yet. I think everybody else in town has used some of it, but
wasn't the ABR guy? Didn't he come to
Chuck
Ham Holiday?
Chuck Abramson, yeah.
Yeah.
He came to the Enid show.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
Yeah.
Mark, is that the dual braid?
I think it's the exact same. I looked and looked and looked, and I could find nothing different from LMR 400. Let's see what it says here.
It looks
They're
like it
saying
has
Universal
foil
saying
sheets, right?
$1.09 a foot.
Yeah, this is 63 cents a foot.
Yeah,
You bought some, Randy. You
I
got a
bought
bunch.
that. Yeah, I have 200 feet of it.
Yeah, everybody else has got a chunk except me. I bought mine was $550, so it's gone up $80 since the last time I ordered a spool.
Yeah.
It also says 15% tariff surcharge.
Let's see.
Let's see for shielding here. Outer diameter, inner diameter.
What do you use to figure on it? 0.66 or what?
For velocity?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's same as LMR. Everything. I looked at every. The only difference I could see, there was one tiny difference, and the EMR was better than the LMR by something that was so worthless.
It should be down there somewhere.
Yeah, it
LMR
should be.
LMR 400 is
Stiff.
It is stiff. It's solid.
This stuff is
core.
too. Yeah.
But the loss on it is it's a lot less than RG213.
Yeah, it's great stuff. Wayne just bought 200 feet off me when he's in his rebuild out there. He's going to put some up. He just brought the spool back last week, in fact, to the office.
Well,
LMR. Yeah, see, LMR is $126 a foot, and that's the brand stuff.
okay.
Double shield.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, I checked I couldn't. It was always half the price, and there's data sheet. There it is. I could not find anything different. I mean, nothing. And there was one little thing, and I think it was like return loss or something crazy. It was just 1/100th of a dB off.
I think the interesting piece of data about it is that at 150 megahertz, which is 2 meters, the attenuation is only 1.5 dB per 100 feet.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Yep. And at HF, it's just nothing. 30 megahertz.
It's
at 30 megahertz, it's 0.76 per 100 feet.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
So my answer is, if you're looking for stuff, that's the thing. Now, the second answer, which will probably pop your head off, is RG6.
Yeah. No, I've actually got a run of RG6.
What? You can't do that.
It's illegal.
Yeah.
Immoral.
This is what happens to get rid of Comcast. You can pull their cable.
That's it. But isn't RG6 a different ohm?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 75.
Why it's illegal.
Yeah,
It's why it's illegal. But it's not.
The loss is big deal.
The big answer is a dipole at a quarter wave is 70 ohms.
Yeah.
So you're converting the 50 ohm cable to 70 ohms out at the antenna. This way, you've got 72 ohm cable and a 70 ohm dipole, and you're converting it at the connector coming into your radio.
Yeah, and it's if you do the math, it's like 1.5
at most.
At
Yeah,
most.
But that assumes that you don't. That assumes you have a 50 ohm antenna.
Right.
And a dipole is not a 50 ohm antenna.
It is not.
Yeah, see, I'm going to use it for my receive antenna. I've done so in the past, and it works great. I mean,
well, it'll take 500 watts too.
Yeah, well, there's that.
It's that quad shield stuff is just no loss per 100 feet at what, 2 gig or whatever it goes up to, something crazy. But yeah, this stuff, if you're wanting to be a real ham and spend money on cable, this EMR stuff from Show Me Cables, and they're the only ones that have it. Show Me Cables.
Okay.
That's the big deal. And like I said, I bought I bought a 1,000-foot spool thinking I was going to use a bunch, and I haven't done anything with it yet.
The velocity is 85%.
There you go.
Yeah, see, that's real good.
Yep.
So, yeah, that probably is what I'm going to look at. I'm going to have to study that because I want to replace my HF run because I think it's LMR 400, but I think it's pretty old and it's been outside. And my other piece of LMR 400 had water in it, water egress into it about 6 feet. So yeah, it was crunchy when I took it down. So I don't trust this other piece now.
But it's aluminum here.
What's that?
It shows it says interconductor materials, copper clad aluminum.
Which LMR is also.
Mm-hmm.
The shield tape is aluminum. Braid is tin copper.
And I looked and looked and looked before I bought that spool thinking, God, I'm going to get screwed. I actually bought a 50-foot chunk just to test it. And that's what Randy's has, that 50-foot chunk that my test was. And it's crazy. Indoor,
That's
outdoor
right.
railing.
I do. I have 250 feet of it because I've
Yeah.
got it going up the tower to my dipole.
Yep.
Later, dudes.
All right.
Take
it easy, Mike.
See you later, Mike.
All right.
Hey, take care.
Thanks, Lee.
Hey, you ever going to take down our Christmas tree, Mike?
He probably
a new president.
Now that you say it that way, you'll leave it up. I started off the deal with nice tree. I like that. And he says, "Oh, I got to take it down."
Well, just don't let your cat around it. That's all I got to say.
Good gosh. But yeah, that stuff works out great. It's everybody I think that's used it has put a crimp connector on it. Randy, I know you did that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Randy and well, we've used 2 or 3 of those Hanks for that's what was in the Red Cross. I had three runs going up to the
Yeah, it solders well as
yeah, it does
too.
Yeah, that's right. Lee, you did that.
Yeah.
You did
solder I built those leads.
Yeah, and they're still, we use those at field day. I still keep those. I've kept them. I think I sold one off to Peter K, but I think I've got 2 of them left still.
Yeah.
Everybody goes, I need some coax.
Okay, so now that I've jumped into the cable question, let's go to the real meat of the matter. PL 259 or end connectors?
Well, it's always in unless you're having to adapt to something. Like if your antenna outside has a PL259, it's kind of silly to go in and then 259.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah. I wish.
And most radios have an SO239. So.
Yeah, which as I understand, if you buy a radio in Europe, they're end connectors.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Well, my Connect system, the 800D is in connector.
Yeah.
Really?
My mobile unit.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I've got 2 of mine on my 910, my ICOM 910, the 432 and the 1296 are end connectors, but the 2 meter is SO239. So,
But I definitely like the crimp
CS.
connects as opposed to the others.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
What was surprising
plenty
is
of guys around the club that had the tool too to crimp it with. Phil's got one, Mark's got one, Lee's got one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of surprised that when I bought my BTV5, DX Engineering sells a bracket which you can connect up to your the base, and comes out to a essentially an L-shaped bracket with the SO239 on it, or 259, excuse me, on it. But they don't sell an end connector, which I kind of thought was unusual. And I asked them about it, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't do that." It's like, really? I mean, that's a good connector. That's a good waterproof connector. And if you get, I mean, why use a PL connector if you can use an end connector that's going to seal it up better?
And the big thing is it maintains 50 ohms all the way across the connection is the big thing.
Yeah.
And the ABR, Chuck and his talk in the Enid talk that w5nor.org/Enid will get you that, but he talks about that in the end connectors that they're superior. But I think it's kind of silly to put an end connector on a piece of cable and then have to convert it down to PL259.
Yeah, well, the cables I got had end connectors on them, and so I had to convert it down, which kind of sucks. But I was going to let me see if I can find that.
You can always rip out that SO239 out of your radio and replace it with an N.
That's true. I could.
Nothing's stopping you.
If you drop that connector, it'll go to low Earth orbit around your garage.
Yep, been there, done that.
Does anybody know of a company that makes a radio with a transmitting unit you could put all the way essentially at the antenna up the tower if you wanted to, like an outdoor mounted signal generator where you can basically just control it remotely instead of generate the signal remotely?
No.
Nobody's that smart.
I mean, I can see why you wouldn't want to put the expensive parts of the radio outside, but if you're really aiming to get like minimum losses and eliminate connector losses and stuff, then the best way to do that is just to put your radio at the top of the tower. It's just an uncomfortable place to sit during field day.
Yeah, it is. Well, my Flex would work that way.
You would think that there would be something like that since they have, antenna tuners that are set up on the base of your antenna.
And I supposedly, I guess I've got the Yaesu 457D, is that the right number? It's small enough you could just put it up the tower. It's just that's more money than I want to crank up that high, I guess.
Yeah, you would think somebody has. You'd think that would be a niche that would get exploited, especially by the new Chinese builders. Maybe that's the thing, right? Is come up with a design and find a place over in China to build it for you, and you could sell 1 million of them. You could retire from teaching.
It'd be like my Flex on a stick.
Flex on a stick is what we'll call it.
I mean, you might have some pushback from Flex.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, they're not. They're really good about that stuff. They don't worry about things like that.
Yeah.
See, that's the little Flex. It's just a little chunk of aluminum, and one end has what is that? One end has a microphone and a USB connection.
And you know what you could do is well, power is an issue. You could do PoE, but then you still got copper coming out. I was thinking fiber to the transmitter, but you still got to deal with power. So
you can shove power up there, right?
Yeah, no, you can. Sure. If you don't mind doing copper, just do PoE and be done with it.
Well, or run 110 up there and put a little power supply in there too.
Yeah.
No, PoE.
No.
After all the power, Peter, we must run like 240 volts, 30 amps up there, man.
What keeps you from doing the same thing you could do with a repeater?
Yeah,
and just putting the radio up there and controlling it through a phone line.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're talking about. Is if it was like a Flex, like Mark was showing there, the control would be somewhere else. It would just be the transmitter at the antenna.
The front plate of that 457D has, it's just essentially the phone type connector. I wonder how long those cables can get before the signal isn't strong enough to make it. Could you actually just put like a 150 foot or 100 foot phone cord on the front panel?
Probably not. I bet there's an upper limit, but there's a guy that.
How long is the cord that comes with it?
Only the one that comes with it is only like an inch or two, but they make extensions that easily go 10 feet or whatever for cars.
Oh, okay, so we've done this. We put the radio and all of the guts right at the antenna. A big Oklahoma thunderstorm shows up. Who's going to go up the tower and unhook the coax?
I vote for Gary.
With
I
the
vote for Gary.
240 with the 240 volts, man, the lightning will strike the cloud before it strikes the tower.
Hey, can lightning strike the tower if you strike it first?
Yeah, see, there you go. Yeah, that's
Or
right.
would you
Preemptive
intimidate
strike,
it into?
man.
Come at me, man.
Let me just add that the lightning doesn't care.
So put the radio in a waterproof box on the tower and forget about it.
And Peter can go with me on this, that you won't even feel it.
No. Nope.
Here's the
Will
answer
not.
for you, Thomas.
Yeah.
This is my transmitter that goes out on the tower. 60 gigahertz.
Oh, yeah, okay.
60 gig.
60
Yeah,
gigahertz.
That's
It
a
inputs
wireless link. Yes.
wireless link. Yep, Ubiquity Wireless. It's a
PoE.
PoE. It's an Ethernet,
60?
one jack, Ethernet power over Ethernet.
Yeah. 60
And it shoots
gigahertz?
60
Yeah.
gigahertz.
You just use it
100
for a wireless link.
It's
point to
yeah, it's
point.
a
Straight point to point.
point to point. This one's point to point.
Yeah.
And you can do point to multi-point if you get the other version.
Yeah.
But
What distance?
quarter mile or less. I don't know a maximum. They really haven't talked about maximum. I've tested it at 300 feet, and it puts 2 gigahertz, 2 gigabit per second throughput rate.
Yeah.
We have ones that are like 3 times that size at work, and we shoot them about a quarter mile.
Yeah. This is the brand new Ubiquity. It just came out with the 60. They've got a fallback for when it rains. That's a 5 gigahertz radio. So it's got 60 gigahertz, 5 gigahertz, and a 2.4 gig.
Yeah.
2.4 gigs how you maintain it. You can get into.
Yeah. I don't know if that thing would light up real well if it gets hit by lightning. But I gotta tell you, the ones that are like this, when they get hit by lightning, they light up real nice. Real nice.
Is that called a flash in the pan?
Oh no, it's definitely a flash. That's for sure. Yeah, whacked it. There was like a tower. There was a utility pole that was next to the warehouse that this thing was on. This thing was on the side of a warehouse. There was a 50-foot tower with all sorts of bristling antennas on it, hitting for all sorts of different directions for point to point for other people. Lightning misses that, hits the Ubiquity antenna, and just destroys the thing. I mean, it just wrecked it. But that's the way it goes, I guess.
Thor is arbitrary.
Yeah.
I'm still going to go with what you said. Lightning does not care.
Yeah, it does not care. It doesn't.
It's an
Guys,
equal
I'm going.
Yep. I need to get going too.
See you, man.
Be safe.
Bye-bye.
Be safe, guys. See you later.
Bye.
Adios.
Take care.
See you later. Yeah, that's what you're looking for, Thomas. You just got to get it a little bit lower in frequency, a little bit down, a little different modulation.
Hey, Carl, what picture did you have up there before?
Thomas bailout?
Mm-hmm.
No, Carl had a picture of of a wire bundle. Oh, there you go.
Oh, he had that last week. That's behind his shack. Is Randy the net dude?
No.
Oh.
He's not on first.
Hey, Mark. One of your favorite places to eat Sooner Dairy lunch.
Okay.
They still only take cash, or I heard rumored they take cards now.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't been there 6 months.
I bought a new book.
Nice.
Hey, ooh, look at you.
Yeah, it's smarter than me.
They all start out that way.
I know the was it SpongeBob books are smarter than me too, but
Well, they all start out that way.
I'm trying to figure out, since I lost my big tree, my ultimate height now is going to be about 25 feet versus what it was before. So I'm trying to figure out some other alternative, and I figure, well, maybe a loop might be worth looking into. I know Thomas had great luck with his.
They're very narrow, very narrow.
Yeah, but you can move. You can move where they are tuned.
Yep. Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah, it's narrow at any given moment. But sorry, there was a dog issue I had to go step away for.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, if you can remotely retune them, then they're usable on a wide range, but not all at the same time.
Right. Well, I figured I might try to pick your brain on them some.
Sure. I've actually thought about, I've had a little bit of time since we're kind of stuck at home, and I've thought about making like a CNC kit for a loop antenna or something that would be easy to kind of do it yourself, capacitor and things. But
it's a good idea.
Be a fun little kit to put together. Maybe sell a few of them.
Yeah. I mean, what's the lowest band that you've seen work well, Thomas?
Well, I mean, I'm sure you can go as low as you want. There are some people that make, twice around loops to really get them a lot longer. They go down to 80 and 160 fairly easily. You're talking at that point loops of almost 8 feet in diameter.
There's one in this book that's 4 times around.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So some people take it a long way, but I mean, on mine, that was just one loop. It went down to 80 meters reasonably. 40 and 20 were totally usable. Pretty great on 20, almost self-resonant on 20, really.
Yeah, that 20 worked out well.
Yeah. I mean, it gets beat by a dipole at proper height, but if you're looking for something that's kind of quick to set up at low height, yeah, it's fun.
So what'd you find out, Mark?
I don't see anything here that says it. No cards is what their website says currently, but it took them 300 years to get a website, so I don't know that updating it is their tallest priority. I'd give them a call. There's your homework for the week.
Right. I've never eaten there.
You've never eaten there?
That's just wrong.
No. I've been here since 75 and never eaten there.
That's your homework for the week, Lee.
Okay. I'll accept it.
It's Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 7.
Yeah. And see if they have credit cards. That's your homework.
All right. I'll do that.
No, they don't. They don't take credit cards.
Well, Mark said that he heard a rumor they just started.
Oh, well.
I don't know. Yeah.
I will find out and report back.
Oh, okay. It's awesome. The burgers are wonderful. Cheeseburger. I usually get a cheeseburger and the fry stuff. And it's old timey kind of flat top burger.
If you order a hamburger educated, you will get it with mayonnaise, lettuce, and tomatoes. They know what they're doing back there.
Yeah.
Cool.
What do you mean order a hamburger educated?
It's an old cafe lingo. You ordered it educated, it came to you with mayonnaise, lettuce, and tomatoes.
There's some guy named Ed, and he said, "Hey, you want catered?" Sure.
They've got 2 different size burgers too. You can get a regular and then a super size, and you can get it up to a triple meat as well.
Jeez.
Yeah. But it's probably one of the best tasting hamburgers in Norman.
No question.
All right. I will go and I will report back.
You can actually taste the beef. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, if you like them,
I feel like there's a road trip coming.
There you go. If you like quarter pounders at McDonald's, you probably ought not to go there.
Yeah.
Well, it'll change you from not wanting to ever go back to McDonald's.
It will.
See,
And I'm failing to see where
weird.
that's a bad thing.
I'm weird anyway because I like a hamburger plain, just meat
Yeah.
and bread.
Yeah,
You
oh,
can
they'll
get-
love
yeah.
you.
Because
Yep,
that way
yep.
you can taste the meat.
You can get it from them.
Oh, you'll go there every day now. We just screwed you up for life. No, I never get down that way anymore. And what I usually do is pick up a bunch for the office is what I usually do.
I usually park on the side too and go in the side door so I can sit down on the bar stool and talk to Randy.
Yeah.
Are they letting you inside in it right now?
You can
We'll
order.
find out because now you've spurted. I'll probably go eat there tomorrow.
What time do you want to meet? What time do Lee and I need to meet you there, Randy?
Well, it kind of depends on if I've got to go back down to Denny's or not tomorrow. So,
Okay, Denny's the food place or Denny's the radio place?
Denny, the radio place, yes.
Oh, what'd you do at Denny's?
And we're trying to get his signal link to work.
Oh, good for you.
It's with the Kenwood TS2000, and I don't use Signal Link, so it's kind of I'm having to do some backtrack and some studying. I've downloaded some stuff.
Well,
So I
remember
think I've
that,
got it figured out.
Computers are new to Denny as well.
Well, yeah, that's another thing I'm going to have to, teach him. But I don't use Signal Link. My computer produces the sounds, and it goes through my interface with my Yaesu. Well, with Signal Link, it has its own sound card, so it's producing the noise as opposed to my computer. And we cannot get the WSJTX program to recognize his computer.
You can produce the same thing with a screwdriver and a cat.
Yeah, but hooking up the radio is a bit difficult.
Yeah, getting it to go over a 50 ohm cable is a little hard.
Oh, don't challenge me.
Don't talk about a whole nother.
Is that like that line from Caddyshack? Don't mind this, doctor's orders.
I think that's a whole different kind of poo gel.
I await the YouTube videos, sir.
This is only going to hurt for a while.
And we were talking gorilla snot earlier. That's just.
I mean, yeah, we're hitting all the high peaks here.
People on YouTube are probably going to go, "Why are we even watching this?"
No, they're actually sending messages in.
Best show ever.
I say I used to buy snot, but it is the stuff that you coat the wires when you're pulling them through conduit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking it was. Wire lubricant.
Yeah.
Oh,
they call that monkey snot or something like that. Or
yeah,
it's been called lots of things.
Yeah,
and most of them you can't repeat.
No, but nobody.
Appropriate the gorilla snot. Come on.
No.
I'm hoping that anybody watching YouTube's not eating at this point.
And I hope they're all adults
It's
at this
usually yellow and real slick, and you don't want to confuse it with something else.
Well, that killed the conversation.
Yeah, I'm getting.
I was going to ask something, and
I'm getting too silly. I should quit.
Hey, so your signal.
This really went downhill fast.
Hey,
oh my God, Wayne showed up. That's what happened.
Hey, it's been spiraling in. Let me tell you, it's been spiraling in. Hey, Randy, how old is that computer?
Oh, well, it is Windows 10.
Okay, but the computer itself.
I don't know how old it is.
He got that after
I can't tell you.
After the electrocution, right? Or the
yeah.
So it's a couple years.
So it's a newer
the lightning strike.
Yeah.
Electrocution.
The reason I'm asking is because if it has a USB 1.0, it might not recognize it. I don't
No,
know
it
that
has
much about
it, no,
signals.
no, that's not. It's coming up with a ham, HAM. I think it's HAMLIB error. And
Oh,
Hamlib error.
yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
No, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does.
Peter K, Peter K, Peter K.
That sounds like a library file that may be.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Yeah,
I'm gonna bail on you.
what I'm gonna do
Hey, man.
is
Thanks,
Take it
Lee.
easily.
Take care.
I'm gonna
All
go in and delete all of the everything and start over again, because I'm thinking he possibly chose something different when he was plugging it in. And it's the WSJT-X program that's having the problems.
Yeah, well, throwing a Hamlib error means that it's the Hamlib, one of the Hamlib libraries is not correct. Isn't that what you're finding there, Mark?
I'm just pulling up. There's a whole crap load of stuff on the web, but I think the idea is, with the one I saw, said that commands are coming in out of sequence somehow, and I don't know where was the answer here. Any of the systems.
I remember Windows had an issue with a driver in WJ.
Yes.
I had problems with it, but I since I don't use Signal Link, I use this interface.
Right.
I just went to virtual comms.
Randy, I'm using a Signal Link with mine, and it had that same problem, had that same error, and they told me I had to go in and change the driver on the sound card in the computer.
Well, see, it doesn't use the sound card of the computer. The Signal Link has its own sound card.
Yeah, but my Signal Link is plugged in, of course, with USB into the computer.
Right.
And it said in there that, okay, maybe it wasn't the sound card, it was a USB driver. You have to change it so it recognizes the Signal Link.
Because it's probably trying to default to the onboard sound card, right?
Right. And you have to change that. And I went in and did what it told me on there. I found it on YouTube. And it said to go in and change that driver out or turn off something. I forget now.
So
and
it
worked.
It's in because he has no COM ports on this computer. That's the weird thing. When I was going through there, he had no COM ports, and I was like, okay, you're not going to be able to use my interface.
Well, he's got virtual COM ports because of the USB, but
the USB is the only port. Yeah.
Right. And that's the way mine's plugged in too.
Yeah,
okay, so it's in the driver of the USB.
Yes.
Windows is going to create virtual COM ports, and that's the way it operates. Okay, it's going to create with the USB driver. So what's happening is that the sound card, it sounds like to me, the sound card on board the computer is conflicting in the WJST software with the SoundLink sound card through USB.
Right.
Okay? So you have to point it to so you have to go into the software WJST and point it directly to the Signal Link and disable the onboard sound card. So it's probably in the preferences somewhere in there.
Yeah, it was something they said you had to go in and change.
But did you change it on your computer, or did you change it in the software of WSJT?
In the software.
I changed it on the computer.
Oh, you did? Okay.
The YouTube one I looked up on that with that error said you changed it on the computer. And so I went into the computer and changed what it told me to do, and the error went away.
You still have that email? Did they email it to you?
No. I went out to YouTube and found the video. The guy explained how that worked.
You don't
for
have
that
to have
error,
a link, do you?
Do you remember which one it was?
No, sir. It's been way too many months.
If you open up the device manager, you can go in there and disable it.
Yeah, that's where I had to go, was the device manager.
Yeah, so if you just click on
and go in and just disable which USB though? Do I
not the USB? Actually, when you look in the device manager, you'll see where it says sound and audio hardware. If you expand out that, you'll see where it has the onboard sound device. And if you right click on it, you can just choose disable.
Okay.
That's probably the easiest way to do it.
But I saw it on YouTube. And that's how I fixed mine. It works.
So we're thinking that we got two of them and it's confusing it. Is that
Yeah.
what we're thinking?
Yeah.
So if we look, you should be able to see my screen, sound, video, and game controllers.
Yeah.
So we're thinking on on the audio, that's an audio deal there. You're
So
just saying.
So I need to disable the
Disable?
onboard one.
Yeah, just disable the onboard one exactly, and that will allow the other to be priority.
Okay. I'll try that.
But the ham lib is the one that is the library that sends the stuff down the push to talk commands and that kind of stuff. That's the library that does all the hard heavy lifting there. And that means it's probably trying to get a hold of that stuff and it can't get into it. And that makes sense.
Yeah, because that audio device is just an output device. That USB is an input and output.
Right.
And it just seems to be having a hard time recognizing not the onboard sound card, but that external one.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, isn't there a spot in WSJT to pick which one you're using? Let's see.
Well, you use you pick it on your computer which one you're going to use, and that's where you go to the audio codec, the USB codec.
Let's see, audio.
I'm not going to be able to run the SJ or the program using this laptop because I'm on Zoom right now.
Yeah.
Right.
But so you pick the audio input that you use.
Right.
And when you look at this, what do you find?
That's going to be USB codec.
Okay, but does it show the signal link card?
No.
It won't show the card?
No.
Okay.
No, it just has that USB codec.
Oh.
So you're right. It's something's not installed correctly with that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go in. I'm just gonna completely, I'm gonna remove everything that was plugged in and start all over again.
I think that's a good move.
Is there drivers?
Do it by putting the signal link to the computer first. I think he had it plugged into the radio and then just plugged it into his computer, and it read some wrong things.
Could be.
So, does the signal link have any drivers that need to be installed?
No. They use default drivers that Windows already has. They did say that there were some problems with the update, but it's usually you just get rid of the WSJT program and then just reload it. But, save all your files or you're going to lose a lot of stuff, which I don't know if you guys paid attention to Peter several months ago talking about dumping your memory from that program. I just did it yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I think I dumped close to 23 gigs of saved memory from it decoding.
Isn't there a way to
Yeah, you can choose not to save it
or reduce that size?
Well, it's either you save it or you don't.
Randy does a lot of this. Let's just be real easy on that one.
Wow.
That's probably from 3 field days, right?
That's from probably since September.
Oh, really?
Yeah, since September that I've done that much.
4 months and you have 23 gigs?
Yeah.
Wow. That's
but I'm close to over 9,000 contacts. So
okay, but still,
and at this point now I'm just choosing and picking which contacts I want to log.
Oh gosh, I guess.
But it,
Randy, the problem I'm running into on mine, I was watching yours at field day and I was trying to figure out, set up as close as I could the way you had it. My WSJT program doesn't show all receiving all of those different contacts, where it just shows all the different call signs on there. It sits there and I've got it on the frequency and you can hear it toning and everything. And it's going to and it shows that it's reading it. And then after a while, I finally get 1 or 2 or 3 maybe contacts up there. I wasn't getting it like you were, where you were getting a whole bunch of them listed. And I still haven't figured out what I'm missing on that.
You definitely have to tune it. Make sure your radio is tuned. I mean, every time I change bands, I retune my radio.
I've got a one of those auto tuners, or not auto tuners, the tuner. I've got one there that I do that when I set it up for 14074.
Right.
And I make sure it's tuned, and then, like I said, when I got the program running, I don't see all of those contacts up there coming in for 10, 12, 15 minutes, and finally it starts showing a couple of them.
On the left?
Yeah.
Okay.
It won't show them like yours was. It was just populating your screen.
Yeah, because it's not decoding enough.
See, that's what I can't figure out, what I'm not doing right to make it do it.
Is the software time sensitive?
No.
You have to have the clock set correctly.
You do have to have an internal clock, and because if you're not on with the clock, you're not going to be making contact.
Well, Randy told me to use that program that does make sure your clock is set correctly, so it works with that program right.
Yeah, see, if you go to time.is, you want it to say this at the top. It says your time is exact.
Yes.
Time.is, huh?
And I'm using that program that runs in the background. It keeps your time correct.
Yep. But I've had it flake out.
But I'm not getting all the contacts, Randy, that yours was populating on your screen. I still haven't been able to do it.
Yeah, I use network time synchronization is what I use.
Yeah, that's what I'm using. Same thing he was.
Okay.
But I'm not getting hardly any contacts showing up on the screen.
I do know that if you can go in and don't do a deep decode, let me pull it up on my other computer because I can't run the program. You guys, I can't use my mic. Let me
do virtual audio cables.
Huh?
Virtual audio cables is what you need. VAC.
The gold-plated ones. You must.
No. That's real.
I need
That's
another.
real. See,
I know they
just need my other computer up and running.
Okay. See, because if you look at that's the wrong one. Audio. If you look at mine, I have line 1 virtual audio cable, and that's what hooks between me and the radio. So I can keep using my mic and do the other stuff at the same time.
Shit.
If you really want to go crazy. And then
you're so blurry on my side, I can't really see that. Bring up the WSJTX program again.
Okay. There's WSJTX.
Okay,
there's audio.
There's up in the get rid of that menu. Just go into the program.
That's what I'm doing. Mine's coming up.
Okay.
Takes a minute. This poor old computer that I'm using it on.
Well, Mark's screen goes away when we start talking. It's how you decode.
Okay.
Mine's working on it. Mine's trying to come up now.
It's one of the tabs farther over to the right on that main menu.
Decode, fast, normal, and deep.
Yeah, just do a fast.
Okay.
And that should help populate a little quicker.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So that means, okay.
Let me look at mine. Hold on. Gosh, I don't hear anything on 14074.
Well, there's your problem.
I mean, normally it's, racing in there. You can hear all kinds of signal. Right now, there's nothing there. Okay, decode fast.
Is that where you were at?
Outfit. I gotta get my other antenna going here.
No, I literally don't hear anything on 14074.
Well, 20 might be dead now.
Yeah, I think it is.
Try 40 then.
Okay.
What is it? 7.074?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. 40's alive. You guys hear that?
Yeah.
That's
That's
my
a good,
40.
that's a loud whisper signal.
But I can hear mine, and it's running. It shows it's scanning, but I'm not getting anything up there in the left window. Nothing.
Can you hear that audio? That same thing he's hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
70.04?
Yeah.
Upper sideband.
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Yep. I got all sorts of activity here.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the thing is, if I
Can you hear
bring
it?
up my WSJTX
Yeah.
program, it will mess with the audio.
That might be my problem. I can't do it. My radio won't do 40 meter upper sideband.
Your radio won't do 40
It only
upper
does
side?
lower sideband. As
Well,
soon
then
as
just
I
tune
hit
up.
What kind of radio do you have that won't do upper sideband?
718 ICOM.
It'll do upper sideband.
If you press and hold your mode button, does it switch to upper and
It
lower?
should.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I go to 7074, it's lower sideband.
Yeah. Then hit it again.
Now you change it to upper sideband and you have to retune it to 7074.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it is rolling through. I've got Spain, Belgium, Caribbean. There's a guy down in Uruguay, Argentina.
Okay.
Croatia.
There I am, 7074, and I hear it great, upper
There you
sideband.
go.
But nothing's populating on my screen.
Well, let it sit there for a while.
Okay. Up underneath where it says file configuration, view mode and decode. Click on decode and go to normal.
Okay.
And where do you have your power? The slider on the right side, where do you have your power at?
About 75%.
Kick it up more. I kick it, I'm about halfway between the two top bars.
Okay.
And that puts me at where I'm leveling out at about 76, 77% on decibel. On, well, 74 to 75 decibel. And there's Uruguay, Cuba, Argentina, Dominican Republic.
No, still not showing anything. That's what I'm saying. It sits there 10, 15 minutes and finally it shows a couple of contacts.
Okay, see where down right above the frequency count where it says monitor?
Yes.
Okay, click on monitor.
Monitor is highlighted.
It's green?
Yes.
Okay.
No, nothing. Nothing.
Huh. What kind of antenna are you using?
In feed.
But you can hear it on the radio,
I can hear
right?
it. I can hear it. Here, I'll get over here close to the radio. Listen.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's as clear as it can be, but nothing populating on the screen at all. That's what I haven't been able to figure out why it's doing that or not doing it. But I was looking at yours at field day last year. It was populating that screen really fast.
Oh, yeah.
I'm wondering if my signal link has something to do with it.
No, it should. I mean, you seeing it on the waterfall for WSJTX?
Yeah, the wide graph waterfall. Are you seeing all the different bars?
Let me look. No.
So you're not getting it into your WSJTX.
Yeah, if you're not seeing a lot of colorization bars, because it
should be going nuts.
No, every now and then I get a little bit of a spike up and it shows, a spike or two on the graph. But
I don't know if I could turn my cam around. Can you see that?
Yeah, we can see it. Which are we looking for? Where's your waterfall?
Can you see the waterfall down here?
Down the bottom. Okay. Yep. Sure can.
I mean, here comes a really strong signal, just a little over 2600. But those are all signals coming in, and that's odd and even transmissions. I mean, these guys are talking to each other. That's pretty busy. I don't know what.
It's huge busy.
Yeah. I don't know how to get, because it's always just worked for me on the.
If you're not seeing anything on your waterfall on WSJTX, that's the
Okay,
problem.
now I'm getting like 2.
Just 2 bars.
No, just 2 contacts up here showing.
How's your audio level? Do you need to go up maybe or down? I mean, are you clipping coming into it?
How do you know that? My audio level over there on the left-hand side where it shows the decibel shows right. It's at 75 decibels.
30 to 60 would be a good thing. When there's nothing there, 30 would be a good number.
Well, you want the decibel over to the on the left side underneath your band choice. You want that at about 75.
That's what I've got.
70 to 75.
Yeah.
And then the power button over on the right side, you want to don't max it out, because then you've got to come back off your on your ALC. Now I do know when Ron
don't you want ALC off?
You want ALC to be 0.
Where's ALC?
That's on your meter on your radio. And you're going to do that by volume coming out of the signal link. And that's what I think in your transmit, on your transmit knob on the front of the signal link.
You want it to be what?
You want to turn it up on the receive.
On the receive or the transmit side?
On the receive side, you want to receive higher volume. You got it at about noon. Is that where are they pointed about straight up?
I've got it right at about 1 o'clock.
At 1 o'clock, I would turn it up, click it on over to about 3.
I do that, then it gets over there on the decibel. It gets all red.
Okay.
You don't want that.
You don't want that.
That's why I've added it about 1 o'clock on the receive.
No, the ALC will be on your transmit. So you don't, that's not an issue there. You just don't want to be so high, because if you're basically over modulating if you get too high of an ALC. And it basically, if you go too high, you're turning up your wattage, but you want it just to be 0, and you'll get a fine tune. Once you get to your maximum wattage output, then it'll go over to too high of an ALC. Oh yeah, it's East and West Coast is just bombarding.
See, I've still only got those 2 contacts. That's all I show on mine. That's all it shows.
But you're using a single link, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, signal link, yes.
Okay. That's, like I said, that's kind of new area for me, because I don't use one of those. I just use the interface on my radio. It's an extra box, but it doesn't produce the sound. My computer produces the sound. So I use its sound card for my transmission. But that shouldn't affect what you hear through your radio. Do you have an IPO switch on that radio to where you can boost signal or decrease it?
Don't think so.
You see, this is the normal signal, you can hear that.
Yeah.
And if I have it just on regular, most of this is coming in at about 778. But if I hit that IPO to a boost, I'm basically 9 9.5 plus 10. So I'm boosting the my reception. But it really doesn't change when I do that. It doesn't change anything on the looks of the waterfall. But I don't understand why you're not getting, because I'm getting every time every 15 seconds, I'm getting anywhere from 6 to 8 different radio stations.
Yeah, I'm still showing my 2.
Your original 2.
I'm still showing my original 2.
Yeah, something's not getting through there.
Right.
Well, later on, if I leave it on for a half hour, 45 minutes, I'll get 3, 4, 5, 6 of them total. That's about it. So I know it's got to be a setting of some sort that it's not reading. I have no idea what it is.
Are you getting the green bar going across the bottom where it says, up to the 15 second mark?
Yes.
It's a growing green bar.
Yep.
And then on the lower left, you are receiving.
Yes.
Okay. Guys, chime in if you.
Yeah, it sounds like he's not getting anything. Not getting enough signal. I just looked at mine playing with it. I'm not getting any signal, and for some reason my receive on the radio was minus 29 dB pad coming out of the radio. I have no idea why, but I had to set mine up to 0.
What time does it say on the bottom down there with your date, below the date? What time does yours say on your program?
Go to time.is and see what your time's off.
I've got that program running in the background.
Yeah. Go check it. Go to the web browser.
You need to update that every once in a while. It'll update its own, but I would update it,
whenever you start a session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you change bands, you need to reset it.
Yeah,
I reset it 6 or 7 times in one evening. I'll reset it. I'm minus 3 milliseconds.
Yeah, that's good enough.
With
I'm minus
with a lag of 76.
0.007 seconds, which is it's pretty good.
And it attempts it like every 15 minutes.
Yeah. Something like that.
All right, mine's updated.
Are you running the WSJTX 2.0.1?
No, I'm running a version 2.2.2.
That's the new one. But what's your time.is? What does it show?
Oh, let's see. Time is showing 9 o'clock.
40,
no, it should
41.
say it's time. Underneath the time.is, it should say your time is.
I don't see where it says that. Time is synchronized is all mine says.
Time is synchronized, and then it shows an actual time of 9:01, 9:01, 04, 05, 06.
Yes.
7, 8,
yes.
9.
Yeah.
Yep. Right on. But I'm still showing the two contacts is all I show on there. I don't know.
Mark, I'd like to set up a loop antenna on your radio.
Okay.
See if it's
Because
an
I've,
antenna
all,
problem.
all I've got, I think it's an antenna problem. All I have out in a garage here is just a little coax loop, and I filled the screen maybe twice since we started talking, halfway since we started talking, and I haven't done any real setup except plug in my coax cable, turn the thing on, and load load the
Since
program, and it's not
since
remotely set up. So
since I've had it running, my scroll down bar is like a 1/2 inch tall now. I mean, I've got.
I'm still showing 2 contacts. That's all I show.
Huh.
Yeah,
and I'm getting it. I'm hearing it loud and clear. Like I said, I can turn it up and let you hear it.
The other side of that, that could be computer.
Yeah, I mean, you can hear it nicely.
It's either that or I'd go through that signal link setup from scratch again, setting the transmit and the receive levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to.
Mark, I'll give you $300 for that rig.
I lost. I couldn't hear you. I couldn't hear you.
Have you looked at?
You cut out on me.
Have you looked at your 991 any further?
Yes.
Thinking hard on it?
I'm gonna. It's probably what I'm gonna end up getting, and then I'm gonna sell the package I've got.
Well, talk
you
to
know
me
what I'm
about
talking
that.
about.
Yeah. Talk to me.
I'm kind of interested in the new Yaesu they're coming out with.
I want that. I really want that FT991A.
That new Yaesu is a pretty good looking rig too.
The
10X or whatever it is.
Yeah, the new 10X. It's based on the 100.
It's got a mix, kind of hybrid superhet superhet / SDR combo front end.
Right. Yeah. With a 5-inch touchscreen.
Yeah. It looks good.
And I just don't know what their price is going to be on the thing.
Go to MTC Radio and check it.
I don't think it's out yet.
They're $300-400 in England. They're $300-400 nominal, $300-400 more than a 7300.
I thought that he was advertising it at the MTC Radio, but I went.
Yeah, it's a few $100 more than a 7300 as far as I've heard. A little bit more, but not a lot more. But that's still a HF up to 6 meter, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not an all channel, not a shack in a box radio.
No, it's just HF.
It's a good looking radio.
But it does, yeah. And I still have to thank Mark every time I start talking about my FTDX 1200.
That was a deal, man.
That and how that happened at John was just standing there. Yeah, I got one for sale.
Anybody got a radio for Randy?
Yeah. I'll buy it tomorrow. Okay, did. And I've used it ever since.
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, he said it just sat there for years, so I didn't do much with it.
He hadn't had it that long. He had only had it. I think he had it about 7 or 8 months. He got it at Greenfest.
Oh, okay.
I think the year before. But yeah, I don't understand. I would say antenna, and then reload the.
See, I think it's got
the software.
He's hearing enough. We heard the audio. He's hearing enough.
It's just not decoding it.
Yeah, but if it's not clean, enough to decode it, there's that.
Yeah.
Mark, do you get out? Do you make any contacts? You getting reasonable contacts for that on phone?
I don't make contacts on it.
Oh.
I'm still technician. I'm working on my general right now.
Okay, well, you can still talk on 10 meter.
Yeah.
Will that tune 10 meter?
Yeah. Yeah, I will.
Will it tune the antenna? Will your tuner handle the antenna?
It seems
On
to.
10. Okay.
It seems to. I was going to try to listen to the 10 meter net the other night just to see if I could hear anything, and I forgot to.
Because here lately, I've been getting a lot of stuff on 15, 17, and 30 as well.
Quite honestly, I haven't looked at digital very much since I got the 7300. And for what I'm seeing on this loop right now, I'm kind of encouraged. Maybe I better be on there.
I'm still leaning towards the 991A. So I'm going very, very shortly here. I'm going to have a real nice package for somebody who wants an HF rig set up.
You don't need to talk to me.
I say, talk to Mark or talk to Ken first. It sounds
right. Ken gets first. I let him know first, and then if he doesn't want it, there's a whole bunch of new hams in the club that'll want it.
There's that, and I wouldn't feel bad if that happened either. But
there's other radios.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
He's had buyer's remorse for a week, for a few months now.
Yeah, from the first week, I think, but that's okay.
I'm going to call it, gentlemen. You guys have a good one.
Good deal. Put that coax up and let us hear you.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Talk to you later.
Good luck, man. Thanks.
I'm still showing only 2 contacts.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's something's wrong there, bad, obviously. I don't even know what mine looks like yet. I go back here.
Well, I get so tired. I just click on the CQ only. I'm not even looking at all the other transmissions. But the waterfall tells me what I need to know and where to be on it. But and here recently, I've been making some of the contacts that are 22, 23 decibel off, dB off, and I've been making contacts, but Ken, when you're running out, how much wattage are you putting out?
I haven't been, I normally run 20 or 25 watts.
Okay. Mark, what do you do?
I usually run 5 is when I run it off the flex.
I think I'm running somewhere around 24 or 25.
I mean, my goal mostly is to listen, just trying to listen. I don't really care. I don't need the contacts. I just, I love to listen to the whisper stuff.
Well, are you using the grid tracker, Mark?
No, I saw that at field day that you were using it. It's like, that's bad.
No, I've got that up over here.
Okay, how many squares are you seeing?
Well, all I see is a whole bunch of flags.
Okay, you need to go into the grid track settings and change those.
Where?
See the flag in the lower right-hand corner?
Yes.
Click on that a couple of times and those flags will go away and you'll just see squares.
I don't see anything. I see maps.
You're running it a grid tracker. Are you running 1.20.909? They've done a lot. I don't know if you guys have and Klein, I don't know if you have updated your grid tracker. They came out with some new stuff and they are building on that of other options because now they've got lightning strike capability, radar capability.
They're trying to get the geochron?
Yes.
They're trying to get the geochron?
And radar statistics on it now.
Yeah, I've got the 1.20.0927.
Okay.
And I see nothing on there but maps.
on the right-hand side where it shows all the different things you can choose from.
Yeah.
And
I
it
see
only
all I see all of those, but on the left, all I see is the world maps.
Right, the world map, and then you see a bunch of flags.
No, I took the flags off.
Okay, and you're not seeing squares. Yeah, you're
Nope.
not. Okay, you're not receiving. So there is some the radio is talking to your computer. It's either not picking up the signal, or you're not, like Ken was saying, you've got too much static and it can't distinguish the different stations. Because
that's supposed to be low noise stuff. I've run a ton of times when I can't hear anything.
I've got things up and down both. Ken, are you seeing it? You don't have it up yet. I've got 20 stations up and down the East Coast, 15 to 20 up the West Coast. I'm South America. I've got 3 in Spain, 1 in Russia. Central South America, I've got several down in the Argentina, Uruguay area. So there's those stations are out there. But I'm also running my off-center fed dipole is 55 feet in the air, and it's built for 80 meters now. So I got a lot of wire out.
Yeah, but he's not picking up me. He's hearing stuff. There's time. I mean, I turn on that stuff on tons of times where I hear nothing, and you still pick up a lot of stuff because it's below the noise floor.
Well, the time that I was out, the electrical noise levels were really, 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 really loud, really high.
Oh, it marks. Okay.
And I know you said it's gotten better, Mark.
Yes, it has.
So
I'm still having problems with around 20 meters with a lot of floor noise.
I've got
40 is not that bad.
I have an interesting dancing pattern on 20. It looks like a top half of a sine wave in 2 spots, and they walk back and forth across the waterfall. And I've turned a lot of things off, but I haven't turned the house off yet. But,
and it's consistent?
Wow.
Pretty common. Pretty common. I don't know what it looks like
24
tonight.
hours
Probably
a day,
nothing.
or is it 24 hours a day, or is it certain times of the day?
Well, I'm usually on during the day, so I'm not on very much late at night. But when it just goes flat, the band goes completely flat. I think it gets quiet then. I don't know.
Because if it's local noise, it should be there with or without the band.
You're right. It should be. So that may well indicate that the Russians are trying to get me.
I think it is.
I don't know.
Well, I had to almost shoot some construction workers across the street the other day because they were running sawzalls and everything else, and I could hear it through my door and come in here, and I could see it on my radio. They were throwing some really bad interference.
What was the offender? The battery power stuff?
No, they were electrical, but they were old. Nothing had any type of
arcing brush motors.
Right.
It's called spark gap transmitter.
Yep.
I've got a really notorious worm-geared scroll saw that was my grandfather's, and when that thing fires up, it almost makes the hair on your arm stand up. It's so bad.
Oh.
One of my Tulsa co-workers bought a Harbor Freight cutoff saw, chop saw, and it came with spare brushes. And we were cutting an aluminum rail. There were more sparks coming out of the motor than off the rail. It didn't survive one cut. I imagine that must have really played a hob on the hospital telemetry.
Yeah. Please turn off cell phones in this area. Didn't do anything compared to that.
And power tools.
Yeah.
Mark, I'm probably going to go back down tomorrow to Denny's and see if I can get his working right. If I can get his and I can play with it a little bit and get to understand it, then I will see what else we could do with yours.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is he also running a 718 or just signal link?
He's just running a Kenwood
TS2000.
TS2000, but it's
Okay.
just the single link.
What with the signal link?
Yeah.
Well, I know that was working over here on that radio, that with that link and everything that was with it. Everything that I had that made it work went with it. And I did have quite a few contacts back on that one with the digital mode and with FT8, and I did some PSK 31, and so it should work. But we need to get Mark. We need to get you fixed up with a good antenna too.
True, but you know my situation as far as trying to hook one up. No place to hook.
You might be surprised with a loop.
I might be.
Because at least you could turn out some of the noise just by positioning it.
Yeah.
We might have to try that here when it gets a little safer to get out and around.
Okay.
What size diameter is that overall loop?
The one I've got's about 42 inches.
Okay, so less than 4 feet. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's see, I think I can show it to you.
Hey, is there a place that you could put like a 40-meter delta loop over the house or off the house down to the back fence?
Maybe.
Somewhere there. There it is.
Oh yeah.
It's just some coax line and a couple of Jap jumpers. Oh, that's not politically correct. Alligator clip to a 280 microfarad picofarad tuning cap. I don't know. Anyway,
what do you have? What investment do you have in that?
Money?
Yeah.
I forget what I paid for that capacitor. I got that at our convention 2 years ago, I guess.
$150 or 100 and
Oh
something?
no! This was like $20.
Oh, okay.
And the PVC was scrap given to me, and the most expensive thing is a patch cable, I think. But the cap was maybe $20, and the coax is scrap. So I have no money in it at all to speak of, and it works. I don't think I could put much more than 15 or 20 watts power into it because it might arc.
Okay.
But I sure would like to find a vacuum cap like Thomas found. I think he bought that from a vendor, from the manufacturer, didn't he?
Yeah, he might be the $150 number I was thinking.
Yeah.
Would that allow you more wattage into it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was putting 100 into it.
Yeah, you could put 100 in that easily. You might get more, but I don't know if you'd really need it.
That's the one
I know when he brought it out. He brought that out. The first one he brought out and set up out at the Red Cross, and went WhisperNet with 5 watts.
Yeah.
And got a hit in Antarctica, maybe.
Yeah.
It was pretty amazing. And then he made a couple of good contacts with it.
He had a good phone contact to New Hampshire with the first one right out of the box, and I think that dipole had 3 dB or something, or I think it was 1 S unit more on receive, depending on how everything was calibrated. But it was really comparable to that 80-40-20 dipole on top.
It's fun to play with when it's not nice outside. And,
It might not be a bad thing to look at, Mark.
Yeah.
Because those loops are gonna wipe out the
cancel half the noise.
Yep.
Yep.
And you can still keep it inside.
Yeah, exactly.
Now does your roofing have aluminum backing on it?
Lines?
Whose house were we talking about a couple of weeks ago that was new, and they were trying to figure out what antenna and where they were going to do it? and they had the aluminum backing insulation in their roofing. The deck board that they had, it had aluminum backing on it.
That
Foil
was
backing.
Mike MAF, I think.
Oh, up in Michigan?
No, I think it was here somebody local, but I thought that might have been Mark, but I guess it's not. So,
No, it's not mine.
okay, well, because WSJTX is for low wattage, low power. So, I mean, if that thing will run, if you can put 15 to 20 watts through it, I would say build one and try it.
You just have to find a moderately decent capacitor. The rest of it's all junk and cheap. I've got some old 75 ohm RG6 or the stuff that I've got is some video cable that I built this one with, but
Well, don't get us back on the RG6.
But a piece of RG6 with the insulation and the center conductor shorted as a loop antenna, not as a feed, but as a loop antenna. You don't care what the characteristic impedance of it is, because you're really using the shield primarily. So,
okay.
So it's a perfectly acceptable piece of cable to use to make a loop with. But if you just,
I got plenty of that laying around here.
well, I promise we can hook you up with a loop on that, and all you got to do, we got to come up with a little capacitor and patch cable of some sort. It's not a hard build.
What kind of capacitor are we looking for?
Well,
Variable air.
Yeah, variable air is the most affordable type.
And what value?
Well, I think this one is. I looked it up, and it's. These guys are usually in picofarad, aren't they?
I think so.
It was. Ideally, I would like to have 400 banana farad, whatever the thing is.
Picofarad.
Yeah, and I think it's picofarad, but that's the one that I found at the show. However, if you're only going to put a couple of watts out, I've got a couple other little smaller ones that will tune this thing.
What are you seeing as prices, Mark?
That's, I don't know, I haven't figured anything out yet. That's a unspecified one. There's 25 to 450 picofarad.
Yeah, that would be a good one to have if it would have enough air gap. But these guys are a little bit small for power, but they work for listening. So, and these.
That's $15 there, Randy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
and that looks like they're commercial selling. He sold 200 of them. So.
And then you say, what do you have to increase to be able to put more wattage through it?
Well, you need more air gap between the plates to get the higher voltage. It's just the flashover voltage that you're worried about. Now, if you had one with mica insulated plates or something like that, it would take up a little bit higher voltage. You could probably put 10 or 15 watts, but you could probably get some
I mean, if
contacts.
you could get something that would handle 20, 25 watts.
Yeah. And you can get contacts all day long with that.
Sure. Especially if you're cutting out the noise.
So it might be something to try.
I'll have to get with you, Ken, and when, like you said, when weather and everything gets better.
I'm looking to try to get my vaccination here soon, but I can't get through right now. I'm registered, but
right.
Yeah.
Hey, does a loop antenna require it to be rotated or anything, or pointed in?
It is directional. It's receptive along the loop, broadside to the loop is the null. So it's nice to be able to turn it 90 degrees back and forth, enough if you're looking for signals. But right now I'm pointing north and south where I'm sitting in the garage, and I was filling my screen up with signals here a while ago. So
do you gain anything if you were like put that outside on a tower or something and get you up higher? Would you gain anything?
You don't need to go much high, 4, 5, 6, 8 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 feet maybe, not real high. It doesn't need to be 30 feet in the air, but outside helps.
Right.
But now you have to deal with weatherproofing the capacitor. That all can be done. They do run outside, and if you put it outside, to tune it, you need a remote control to tune the capacitor.
You have to tune it.
Yeah, you have to peak the capacitor virtually every time you change frequencies.
Yeah.
That's the only short side. But if you're going to do digital, you're going to put it on something, XO74 and tune up the capacitor till you get the maximum signal and go.
Ken, if we set one in my room here behind the monitors on that table, it would be actually setting where I guess if both ends of the loop on both sides, it's facing east-west.
That'd be ideal. That's where you're getting most of your signals at. Most of the ones you want. Well, unless you want a DX, but you just turn it. Set it out in the middle of the room. Turn it.
Yeah. No, it's right now. If I set it behind those monitors on that table, it'd be facing east-west.
Open your window and stick it on a tripod right outside the window.
It's the best. Yeah, it'd be the best.
When you want to really get serious, but the rest of the time you can just play with it where it sits.
Yeah. I just like to be able to populate the screen with contacts.
And just
I had it on my SDR Play for a long time, sitting in the living room, sitting on top of a entertainment center. The SDR Play hooked up to the computer. Had fun with that. It's better than watching network TV.
Yeah.
Or any news.
Yeah.
I was just thinking we're going to be doing some practice net CW stuff here. Hopefully, a few of us in a few weeks. And if we just sent random letters and numbers, we could probably drive the black suburban boys crazy.
What are they saying?
There's not very many of those left, and I don't think they look anything. From what I understand, my friend's a WISP, a wireless internet service provider. He said they really don't look at anything below 2.4 gigahertz anymore.
Crazy world we're in.
Yep, that it is. That it is.
But I think if we improve your noise situation and antenna situation, Mark, I think you'll get more joy out of that.
Okay. Well, that's
I would, because if you still only have 2 contacts showing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got an antenna. I think we looked at the antenna is like a modified ZEP in an NVIS configuration because you're still on fence, right?
Yeah. No, I've got it up on the top.
Oh, you lay it over the house?
No, I got it from the top of the roof all the way down to the top of the fence back at the back.
Oh, so now you got a good sloper on it. That should work if it tunes up right. Yeah.
I'm hearing it great in here.
Yeah.
It's not populating on the screen.
Yeah.
It's not populating in the program.
Do you have another computer to put it on?
Not really, that I could make it work with the connections and stuff real well. No.
You're using that little laptop?
No. I'm using the desktop.
Oh, okay.
I've got I've got a desktop here that I can use dual monitors.
Okay.
Like
discount that, then I'm not going to worry about the computer then.
No, like Randy was doing with the dual monitors and everything. I was trying to set mine up just like he had.
Okay.
from field day. That's what I was using an example. That's why I took pictures of his.
It could still be
Yeah,
something
you
to do
haven't
with the
seen it, and
signal link.
I've got a newer monitor. You haven't seen it. My newer monitor, I can get my waterfall, grid tracker, my logging program, and the network time, and it's all huge in one. And then I have the WSJTX on my laptop screen.
Jeez.
Yeah. Linda provided me with a new monitor. Well, and when I run the Aries net on this, I turn the monitor 90 degrees and I can get the entire list of our roll call on the monitor.
Dang.
Yeah.
Well, I'm using, for one of my monitors, I'm actually using a Vizio small TV. And on the other one, it's just a computer monitor.
Yeah, this is a Dell. This is a high definition. I don't even remember. It's even one that you can daisy chain.
About a 24-inch monitor.
Yeah, it's bigger than that.
Jeez, that's that widescreen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that Dell widescreen. Mark, you've seen that, haven't you?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a big monster.
I got a tape around here somewhere.
Well, I've got an old 32-inch Samsung TV that works pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I can make the letters big enough for my old eyes.
So what do we have new in grid tracker?
This thing's measuring 28 inches on a diagonal.
Whoa.
On the grid tracker is 1.20.0927.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I got. I just
And look-
downloaded it.
Yeah, and it's got a whole bunch of features on it now on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
Whole bunch that you
And
can do.
The WSJTX version I'm running is the 2.0.1.
See, I got mine was the 2.2.2.
You're not running a 2.2 yet?
Not
Randy?
yet. No.
That's got the FT4 and all the good stuff.
Yeah,
Is this a free software?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, the
Grid tracker.
WSJTX is, yeah.
Grid tracker is too.
And grid tracker as well.
Yeah.
And the time sync is free.
Yes. Yeah, I wrote that down when you showed me that at field day. That's what I hooked up on this one, and I update it fairly regularly.
So, oh, look at that! It's got
there's
NextRed.
There's WSJTX is 2.3.0.
2.2, I thought. Is there a 3 out? 2.3
Yeah,
out?
there's a 2.3 out. It came out on January 6th.
Of course it did. Oh my.
On which one?
I'm old.
WSJTX.
Well, I haven't updated it then.
I haven't updated either. I'm running 2.1.0.
Look at that. They got
It works
radar.
with the FST4W.
Mark found him a new toy to play with.
And
I've got grid
there's
tracker, head grid tracker. I just didn't have all the cool stuff.
And there's some new stuff for FT8. They fixed some stuff for the FT8.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they've done quite a bit with the.
For coolness. That's got me excited about doing something else.
There you go.
Yep.
Joe Taylor's
that was worth the whole trip.
Joe Taylor's been pretty busy.
I haven't set up my rig control on the 7300 yet with this thing, and I've got to go in and figure that out. But that's no biggie.
Yeah.
But it's picking up all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
I've got to reset this up.
Randy, you've got my phone number, don't you?
Oh, I thought I did. Mark,
you and I talked before on the phone, so I figured you had.
I thought. Let me pull it up here real quick.
BR549.
Yeah.
Well, Will this log to QRZ, or is it a logbook of the world?
It does EQSL and logbook of the world.
Uh-huh.
And
It'll-
then
but
I
it'll
just-
dump out at ADIF.
and then I just download in the settings. It's for free on QRZ. I just download straight from logbook of the world
To QRZ.
to QRZ. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark,
okay.
I've got it. I've got you here.
Okay, I was just going to say I'm sending it to you on the chat.
629-2568.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got it in here.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
good.
let me see what Denny, let me play with his and just see if I can get it working, because I'm not concerned about an antenna down there.
Right.
No.
Right.
No.
Well, but if you've got that from the roof down to the fence in a sloper, that ought to be, it ought to be okay. If, well, it just should be okay. But,
You would think so.
yeah.
Yeah,
But it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to put, because we can carry a loop in there, set it up in 5 minutes, and try it out like that.
Right.
A-B
In fact,
yeah,
mine's working real good without the capacitor attached to it right now.
I haven't even tried doing this. I've kept it on 40 this entire time. And since we've been talking, 80 has really come alive.
Wow.
Yeah, the grid tracker shows, Ken, when you start looking at it, the grid tracker, it gives you data up in, and it gives you all the bands and what's,
So
what's
does that
working,
integrate?
what's not. And
Does that integrate with WSJTX easily?
yes, it automatically integrates.
Really?
Automatically.
I got to do that.
Yes.
I got to do that.
Yeah, it does.
And it automatically works with Mark, what's the log we use?
N3FJP.
Yeah, N3FJP. It automatically works with it.
That uploads to Logbook of the World fairly
yes,
seamlessly.
that's what I
yeah.
use that it automatically logs up to EQSL and Logbook of the World. And then I just go over to QRZ and pick the ones I want to populate the logbook there.
Uh-huh.
That's just a portion of what I've done. I'm at 8,365.
Wow.
And that's, well, there's some phone in that, but not much.
We had a guest speaker on our little Morse code support group that set out to, it's been 2 years that he went straight Morse code. He set out to get 1,000 CW contacts, and by the time he talked to us, he'd had right at 2,000. And that's with a straight key or a bug or a swiper, cootie, without a computer, except for logging. But
yeah, I think I'm up to about, I think I've got about 2,000 on QRZ. Yeah, 80 is really busy too.
Cool. Well, I'm getting the horse fence up again here in a little bit. So that'll put me on 80 meters.
And it just depending on the time, I don't know if my 60 will tune or not. No, 60 won't tune tonight. 160 won't tune tonight, but it tuned day before yesterday. But I can receive, but it doesn't transmit very well on it.
Yeah.
But 80 is pretty busy. Yeah, that's sometime I'd like to get with you, Ken, and I'd like to make one. And Mark, if you want, we can put something together for you.
Yeah, I'd like to try Ken's idea to try the loop and see if that makes a difference.
It's
Then
much
the
quieter.
antenna
A lot of people use them as a receive-only antenna.
but I'm thinking right now the reason mine's not populating is due to an issue somewhere where it's not hearing it.
Well, and you could do that, set it up as a receive antenna and use your sloper as your transmit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I can
And
do that.
You wouldn't have to be fussy about power handling capacitors that way.
Right. You could just
a lightweight capacitor would work for tuning, and then you transmit on. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to be able to populate the screen and be able to pick up all the stations like you guys are doing.
Oh, there's South Africa on 80. Yeah, there's quite a bit more on 80. And it doesn't tell me a number that I've decoded, but I can only imagine what it looks like in my logbook. Well, I don't have it saving anymore. I turned that off to where it won't save any of them anymore. But yeah, you should be getting a lot more.
Yeah. No, mine still only shows 2.
No, you should be getting some. Just a few, not yeah. It's got to be it's either got to be too much noise for the decoder to pull it out, or some way you're not getting the signal that you should.
I'm thinking it's a setting somewhere along the line in there that I've overlooked.
Well, the RX level, the receive level, when you tune the signal link for that,
it was right.
And you're not in the red, and you're getting a 60-70% on the meter.
Yeah.
You should be receiving some signals. Still makes me suspicious of the antenna a little bit, but we could try a couple of things. We could throw up that vertical again.
Well, we weren't getting hardly anything on
noisy. It was real noisy then, but then
yeah,
even though your other antenna was real noisy.
Yeah.
So don't know.
That's why if we try the loop and it's real quiet and it picks up the signal, that's what it was. It was noise.
Yep, that'd be a good way to test it.
Yeah.
Well, we ought to plan on that soon, fairly soon.
Okay, and we'd know real quick that's what it was. Guys, I gotta go. Be safe out there.
Holy crap! It's 9:45, isn't it, guys?
Yeah, time runs off.
Yep, we'll see y'all later. Thanks for a great evening.
You betcha.
Take care.
Have a safe one. Talk to you guys later.
Sorry, we kind of took over the last hour of the.
Yeah, but it makes it fun when you got nothing like a good project like that to.
Yeah, good subject matter.
It's what it's all about, anyway.
And he was pretty emphatic of how he wanted that up and running on FT8 after he saw me at the field day.
Yeah, I know. He was really excited to get it going that way, and I know it worked here fine. And like I said, I did PSK 31 and FT8 with it. I was having no trouble getting a lot of signals, and I was just running off a dipole. Not even an optimal height, but 20 foot, 20 meter.
And you haven't been running any FT8?
Not lately, no. I've been piddling with other crap, and I'm going back at it. It's almost there. I got to go back through the setup on the 7300 and get the rig control going. And
Does it just do an automatic from radio to computer on that one?
it seems pretty.
You don't have any interface. You don't have to have a rig controller or anything.
Just
You
USB cable only.
Right.
So I've got to go in and select some USB functions, I think, for rig control.
Right, and you use to adjust for your ALC, you use your output of your computer,
right,
to modulate that.
Right, and it's I have.
It's
I'm not
like,
transmitting. I'm not transmitting at the moment, so I don't. I'll
right.
have to look at that. Right.
Because I had a little bit of a learning curve when I was trying to work with the ICOM 7100 of Ron in the group, that he couldn't get his, but we couldn't get it to transmit. We couldn't figure out how to get the wattage up on transmit, and it was based on the volume control of the sound in his computer. It wasn't his radio that was doing it. It was his computer. And we were able to raise that up to where his wattage came up to where he wanted it to be, and before the ALC started to kick in. And that was an interesting, because that's nowhere near how my system works.
Well, when you have an interface, that's another whole stage and step to play with.
Yeah, because I have everything set up here, but Yaesu has its own interface.
Right.
That CSC 17 or whatever it is. And I don't even mess with the RX. I've got it maxed out. I can turn it down, but then I lose the decibel sides in the program. I've got it maxed out, but the TX I play with to adjust for the ALC of whatever wattage I want to run at. And I've even noticed that right now my 40 meters works exceptionally well, especially when I turn on my watt meter, my external watt meter and SWR meter. I'm not just kicking out the straight 25 watts. I'm actually kicking out higher than that on 40 meter. So my antenna is optimal for 40 meter. And I'm running 250 feet of that LMR 400. So I'm running quite a bit of coax, but when people come into me that are +4 and +5, and I'm hitting them with a +9 or 10, this rig is working like I want it to.
Well, that's cool. I got excited about it, before, and then I got away from it.
Seeing some of the stuff and then going over, and like today I was playing on 20 meter, and there was actually some Australian stations coming in on phone.
Wow.
Today.
I picked up a couple with that little camp antenna, the fishing pole antenna, single counterpoise, a couple of days when I've got a pretty nice signal from Australia, but it's just a 20-foot fishing pole and a single counterpoise. And it's just pretty amazing what that little thing will do. I mean, for no more than it is. It shouldn't. But I'm not having any. It de-incentivizes. I'm not as excited to go put up a big antenna when I can go out there and throw up a little quick and just have as much fun as I want, So
right.
But I'm doing some work in the backyard, and right now I'm living in the garage with the radio gear because we're moving stuff around out there. But I've got a shop in the back where I want to set my shack up eventually, and it's about the same distance from the antenna space. So hopefully I'll get something better up here soon. Certainly, I'm going to try to get Lee's horse fence up this week.
Oh, you bought, okay. That's
Yeah.
one of his. Okay.
Yeah, I had it up, and the wind came along, and it was on military poles, fiberglass poles. And it lifted the top one right off, and just dropped everything on the ground while I went in for surgery last year. And the day I was in the hospital, went in the hospital, a storm came. My daughter comes in next day. I don't know if I need to tell you this or not, but your antenna's on the ground. So I tried to get it back up one other time, and I'm about ready to solve that problem. So,
well, the ice storm we had here didn't do anything, but the windstorm we had back in October, it didn't do anything to my tower, but it did. The wire got beat up pretty good. So I took it down and redid some soldering on the ballam and went ahead and changed it from a 40 meter to an 80 meter and just soldered in some new wire, and it hasn't missed a beat.
well, I've had a DX commander in the backyard with 3, 4, or 6 wires at various times and 20 to 30 radials, but the bloody squirrels like the taste of my radial wire.
Yeah.
And they just keep shortening them on me.
I just got the spools of wire from Lowe's and put it up, and it's basically an inverted V, but I've got, and it's an off center fed. So I've got it coming down, and it doesn't quite make it to my fence on the west side. It comes all the way down to the fence on the east side, and then I've got it running back toward the tower. And I've got a weight and a pulley on that end so that it can give and everything on it. But I haven't had no one in my neighborhood has, said anything about any interference.
Good.
And I'm talking all over the world. So on just a single wire.
Yep. 100 watts in a wire will go a long way.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, I hope we can get Mark going, because I know he's pretty disappointed that
And
has.
he's been real frustrated with it. I thought he gained on it to the point that he was working, because he wasn't talking about it for several meetings. And so, yeah.
Okay.
Nothing else. So I'll take this little toy loop down there one of these days here pretty quick. I hope I can get that vaccination and then feel like I can live again.
Okay. Okay.
But, that
well,
will
just get it, and then you don't have to worry about the vaccination.
Well, there's that. But I'm 73, so.
Yeah, I talked to my dad about it. He's turning 81 this year, and I didn't tell him to get it or not to get it, but I'm leaving it still up to him. But 3 days of a fever, and that was about the only thing I had that came out of it. Because of the fever, I had a rash on my back.
Well, a lot of people have very mild reaction to it. And I'm just hoping right now that it's running so rampant that we're about to finally peak and have some herd immunity in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Don't know what's really going on.
Yeah. Who can you listen to and get the truth about what it's doing?
Don't trust anybody. I know there are a lot of people in the hospital. That's about the only thing that.
Yeah, but are they truly in for this, or is it some underlining problem they already have that's just getting multiplied because they have COVID?
Had that discussion a little bit earlier. If you take the mortality rate, multi-year mortality rate, and you run it against the current situation, that would probably be about as meaningful a statistic as you could get. Because a lot of people that are passing today are getting blamed. They're blaming the COVID on it, and it wasn't maybe what it really was.
Heart condition, diabetic,
sure.
obesity, cancers, and no one's dying from the flu. They were dying from it last year. No one's dying from it now.
Yeah, how'd that work? I know.
Well, and the COVID germ is also a the common cold
Mhm.
is a COVID germ.
Yep.
So
I know.
I don't believe the statistics, and the mortality rate is still less than what, one point something percent.
It's much
mean,
higher
it's
over 65.
It's higher for over 65, yes,
Much
but
higher.
like you said, you don't know if they're also they're including in those deaths.
No, you're right. I know.
They
I
might
know they reported a New Yorker that died in a car wreck and got written up for
Well,
COVID.
yeah, a California guy drove off one of the highways, off a cliff and died from the COVID.
So, yeah.
All right.
All right. Yep.
Ken, have a
Hopefully
good-
next week we'll have some better stories.
Hopefully we'll have Denny up and running on his FT8 then, and if I can, maybe then have some enlightening news for Mark.
Yeah, I'm
Have
hoping.
Have a good one, sir. We'll talk to you later.
Good night.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye, Mark.
It's a good time to probably call it a night. I'll see y'all on the next one.
See you, Ken. Mark, it looks like you're having all kinds of fun with drivers over there.